and it's now game time. Everybody ready?
Yay.
All right. Okay, because last game there was a lot of stuff going on. Welcome back, everyone, back to the adventures of the STDs. And you're in an interesting spot right now. I think as you are with most games, actually. Having finished out your Dragon's Defeat Festival, having found some allies and some Dragonborns, having played carnival games and eaten way too much food and drank way too much, and met a mysterious drow who had a proposition for you, and then finally getting shuffled off by Tyrax, kind of like a mother hen. I think he's kind of mother henning you guys a little bit at this point, but you have been summoned back to the Spires of Uric, specifically back to Uric's Tower, and this is where we ended the last game. You are standing in the grand hall of Uric's Tower. Busy. There's some stuff going on. You see some robed students with books under their arms, kind of Hogwarts style, trying to carry them. You know, it looks like they're running back and forth, maybe to class. You're not sure. And Tyrax is looking around. And he says, I think he's either in his library or he's in the ritual hall. We should probably check the library first. If that works for everyone.
I just shrug.
I'm always up for the library.
To the library.
Let's go check there first. And you guys start to make your way. This hall, as you can tell from the image, is humongous, and it's very regal and also surprisingly quiet for as many people are running back and forth. There's an air of reverence here. You guys, as you do walk through here, you happen to notice that everything is finely polished. Everything is made out of the finest materials, and you expect a lot of time and probably a lot of money and influence went into building this however many years ago. Tyrax is going to... He definitely is walking like he knows where he's going, and he walks down several hallways, turns a handful of corners, and who has my highest passive perception? This is another reason why I have this.
I'm pretty sure it's not me.
No,
It's not me.
It is Neuraxis, actually. Neuraxis, as you are walking behind Tyrax, you do notice his tail swishing back and forth, kind of aggravatedly. It's almost like a cat. Just his emotions, his face shows nothing, but the tail is flipping back and forth.
Are you all right?
There's this movement of the shoulders, and then he kind of sinks back down. And he turns and he looks at all of you, and he says, I don't really know at this point. So much weird shit has happened. I don't know, nervous, I guess. It seems dumb, but nervous. The unknown is
About
always
what?
scary. I don't know what he's discovered. You guys pulled this thing out of the Feywild. I don't know what he's discovered. I don't know if it means anything. The unknown is scary. It's just down here. We should probably go. We should go. And he heads off. You guys following?
Yep.
Yeah.
I like look back. Like he's fine, right? I'm sure it's fine.
Again, I just shrug because how would I know?
It's like, anyone gonna back me up, please? Oh no! Oh no!
If it's not fine, then well, the only way to face it is actually meeting Uric and actually figuring out what it was. Like,
That's very true.
Now Neuraxis' tail is like tick-tocking as you walk in. Oh no! Oh no! Like when C-3PO starts to panic, they're all like, "Oh gosh!"
He's kind of disappeared around the next corner, And as you guys come around, you see him outside. A couple of you are, well, actually, all of you are familiar with these doors, the big oaken, metal banded doors into Urich's library. And he doesn't even knock, he just pushes through. And when you guys enter, it's empty and very quiet. The only things that you notice from when you were in here before are the slightly glowing little orbs of light that are just, they seem to be decorative more than anything else, are there, but there is not a soul in here. And he kind of ducks around a couple of tables, peers around a column back into, there's a set of bookshelves back there, almost like a little reading nook area. And he comes back and ritual hall, I'm thinking, that's about it. It is, sounds like we have to go through a ritual, so that makes sense. I just wanted to make sure he wasn't in here first.
Wait, what? We have to do a ritual?
Yeah, the DM will remind you that Urich had mentioned that when you first met him. There's a ritual. He's worried about this item. We'll get into that. He's worried about this item trying to imprint on somebody.
Oh, right.
And wanted to, first of all, figure out what it was exactly, because it had been corrupted by the influence of Ali Damara. Figure out its original intention, and then try to discern whether it could be used, whether it needs to be stored away, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Basically just a giant research session for the last couple of weeks for him. And Allura, as much as she can give him assistance, knocking their heads together, trying to figure out what the heck this thing is.
Right.
All right. So thank you, but that's a good reminder. Thank you, because there's been a lot going on since then. The Feywild feels a long time ago.
Yeah.
T-Rex,
Yeah, man.
looks at all of you and he says, I want you to know something, that no matter what happens, no matter what this thing is, no matter what it means for the things that I've seen and your willingness to go along with me, that has meant more than anything. My work has been largely solitary for many, many years, and having, maybe dare I say, friends has been nice. So, and he just
walk up to T-Rex and I just take his hand and I shake it solemnly and I say, "You're all right, T-Rex." And then I step back. I have officially buried that grudge now.
Yay!
And here I was just gonna turn into a camel just to make you laugh, but
We did it. Game over.
game over. Yeah.
Roll credits. We did it.
You did it. You did it. Oh my god.
Just side quest complete. Just
For the longest time, he had a little red skull over him, and now it's just gone. It's green. You're fine. You guys, the height differences aside, he looks down at you, Hazel. Yeah. Thank you. All right, let's go do this, because I'm starting to get super nervous. And he leads you out of the library, not through the door you came in. Past this staircase, there's a small door back here. Much smaller, still oaken and metal banded. And he knocks this time. And after a few moments, you do see... not that way, that goes somewhere else. You do see Allura stick her head out and usher you all inside. She doesn't say anything. And moves you into this area. Unlike the pristine halls in the tower, you come into a room still of immense size, like the library, full of books, but a lot of things here have an air of artifact around them. Some of them are covered in cobwebs. Some of them look to have not been moved for goodness knows how long. And before you at this pillar Manipulating the light and the energy is Uric in solemn gray and silver robes, Drake at his side, and then off to just kind of the back left is a small group of robed figures. They're in brown and green robes, and they're all carrying staves that look like they're made out of knotted vines. Most of their hoods are up, except for one woman. She looks human. She has very long, kind of almost gnarled red hair, and she looks up when all of you enter, and you see her eyes have no pupils. Her eyes are pure black.
Hello.
Uric sees all of you and motions you forward. He drops his hands, and that light goes out of existence. And before you, on the pillar, right here, is
Music's kind of loud again.
the Gaia Sash. It is hard
Better.
to figure out exactly what is going on here, but no one is talking. What would you guys like to do? You're just kind of standing weirdly in the doorway right now.
Yeah.
This is
I mean, they
awkward.
look busy.
They
Do
told
you
us, I mean, they're
recognize-
expecting us, right? They told us to come here.
Yeah, he doesn't look surprised. Uric doesn't look surprised that you're there. He just looks preoccupied.
We're maybe a bit late for reasons.
Oh,
No?
yeah.
We're not late.
So,
Well, Not,
The wizard
I mean,
arrives whenever she wants.
technically,
oh,
technically we're still on the correct day,
You are.
but yeah,
Yep. But it looks like something has already started.
yeah.
You've walked into, you do see a couple of those same robed students lining a big circle on the floor with, it looks like kind of red brownish tinted dust or ash of some kind. And they're drawing runic symbols on the floor with their fingers. There is a gap in the circle, and Allura says, we were expecting you a little bit earlier, but...
Sorry.
well, that's
Sorry
all right.
about that.
It's all the more time that Uric had in order to work with this item. He does have a couple of things he wants to tell you before he goes through this ritual. If you might want to go join him. Just Drake and I will be off to the side. We're there to lend assistance if it's needed, more than anything else.
Okey-dokey.
Okay.
Okay.
as long as I get my stuff back when he's done, I don't care.
Some stuff has been given away, hasn't it?
He's just like, this is wizard stuff. As long as I get it back, it doesn't matter.
Do you say that out loud?
Hopefully they don't
Yeah,
break
pretty
it.
much.
Okay.
Like words to that effect. I'm like, yeah, wizard things. I know.
Uric kind of
But
frowns.
this is Alicia's wheelhouse. I'm like, I don't know.
There you go. Yeah, Uric is frowning at you, Neuraxis, and he motions you forward. Step inside the circle, please, so that the students can close it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to get this back or not.
Hey, wait, what? No.
He really wants it back, so it would be really nice if we could have it back, please.
Let's just step inside so we can actually figure out if we can keep it or not.
I step in
And
the circle.
Alicia just start.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Alicia starts like
Yeah.
pushing people inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Stop it.
going
Hey,
in. No
okay,
problem.
fine, I'm going. Look.
I just turn to Volk and Urban and I say, Jesus, everyone's really nervous today, aren't they? What's happening?
And they should be with good reason. The red-haired woman
Oh,
in the corner comes over to all of you, stays outside the circle, and just looks at Uric. Would you like to tell them, or should I? And there's just from body language, there's an immediate tension between these two people.
Ooh.
Oh, she gets daggerized like that.
You're-
What have you done?
is still frowning, which is impressive on an older elven man. It seems to almost like sink into his face. And he looks at her and he says, "This is Molly. She is the high priestess of Allura in Singorn. And that was one of the first things we determined, was that this item was not of the Wild Mother. No matter how much they want it to be, it's not. It does want an owner.
Which item is that again?
This Gaia Sash, so you call
Oh,
it.
right.
It wants an owner. It has been corrupted. And I'm trying to get it back to its natural state, so that it could potentially be used or researched more. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking part in a ritual to try to restore its energy, but also break its if it has any hold on any of you, try to break it. I don't want a seemingly powerful magical item imprinted on, no offense, a commoner, any more than I want it imprinted on a powerful wizard like myself or Allura. So we need to break the chains of binding, hence the ritual. I can tell you what it was doing while it was in the Feywild, and I'm actually going to give you guys that card. So let me add in the Gaia Sash, the corrupted version of it, so that you can take a look at what it was doing to Ali Damara and what it was doing for him, which is always interesting.
This is like finding a cursed item in an RPG, and then you uncurse it, and it gives you a whole bunch of cool things.
So that if you guys want to take a look at it there, I am going to put it up on the screen. It's a legendary item. It does require attunement. These are the things it was doing for him. It includes giving him proficiency on natural and survival checks, allowing him to grapple, and also then he used it to cast Call Lightning before you guys killed him, which is why some of you got the shit shocked out of you.
Right.
That's what it was doing for him. And if that art looks familiar, shout out to Devin Rue, who made the really awesome wild map for Matt Mercer. That is her artwork on there that she gives out for free to patrons.
Oh.
So I
The
borrowed
mistress
it
of
to
maps.
use. Yes, the mistress of maps. So yay! Because it was perfect. And that is actually exactly what I imagined the sash looked like before I stumbled across that and was like, oh my god. So there's the sash. You guys can look at that. So Yurik tells you all of this. Molly is kind of looking on, doesn't seem too happy about any of this.
And that's the corrupted version.
That's the
Jesus.
corrupted version of it, yes. Having spent probably a fair bit of time with that crazy man thing, humanoid thing, maybe.
Creature.
That's what it wound up becoming. And this is part of what, and Yurik explains to you, this is part of what he wants to uncover with this ritual. They know a couple of things. They know it still allows you to grapple in its uncorrupted or original state. It still grants you the ability to focus on nature and be more in tune with it. But its actual abilities, he's not sure. So Mali and her priests and clerics of the Wild Mother are going to stand off to the side and observe. She also looks at all of you very closely before she moves off. And she says, not to you, she's looking at Yurik while she says this. She's talking shit about you guys. She says, you mean to tell me that these civilians pulled a cursed item, went into the Feywild, put a cursed item out of the Feywild, killed its owner, and it belonged to someone we have absolutely no records of? in our research concerning the Wild Mother. And you mean to tell me you take an awful lot of faith here, Yurik. I don't know that I approve of any of this. And he... very stately. It's like Zen just comes over his face.
I'm going to kill her ass.
I was going to say...
Oh, no,
Alicia puts her hand up in the air like she's coming with a question or statement. And like... These are also the civilians that managed to free souls from a necromancer. We managed to get visions in the... what's it called? Singorn?
Yeah, that one place in
memory ward.
Singapore.
Yeah. Memory ward?
Yeah.
We also
We're no
got a
average
big
civilians.
spider in a tomb in the desert.
That finally is looking at you, Alicia. She says, that sounds like part wild exaggeration, part lie, and also what adventurers do, which is go into places they don't belong, kill things, and then come out with treasure. If you thought to impress me, you were extremely wrong.
Did she just call me a liar and like looking wild at everyone? Like, did she just?
Yes, she did.
You're like, ignore her. She's here out of courtesy and nothing else.
Lady, I have made like almost no treasure. Seriously, I have like 10 gold pieces on me right now.
Same.
Volkar just rolls his eyes and he's like, well, I guess then her being here is the extent of her courtesy.
It's coming very close to a swift kick out the door. Yurik says, but we need to do this. So this is the circle gets closed up. Allura and Drake are off to the side. Outside the circle, Mally and her clerics are also further back. You guys are in the circle with Yurik only. The sash before you. It still looks the same as it did. Dark, twisted vines and looks like wilting leaves on it. It looks decayed and like it's covered in soot and ash. And a little bit of black blood from where you killed him dead. And he says, it is a ritual of intention. It is a ritual of power. It's going to take a lot of energy from me in order to focus and attune to the larger magics on this plane and on others, because we are trying to identify an object that seemingly has no origin that we can find. In order to do this, those of you who were there when it was found, and he looks at you, Volkar, you included because you are of blood from the other dwarf, correct?
Well, yeah, we're cousins.
Good enough. That will be an assistance.
Oh, good.
The ritual
We're starting to wonder.
requires... it requires a piece of all of you who were there when this item was found, in order to hopefully sever any potential connection that it might have to all of you, and to hopefully return it to its natural state. I need all of you to assist me.
So,
we'll go over the mechanics of that in just a second. I
have a letter from him, or do I need like blood for our blood ties? How does this work?
For you specifically, it may be blood. The
Oh.
others, well, it's going to rely on your strengths. He raises his hands.
Strength or strength?
Strengths. Abilities.
Good.
Okay. So here's what we are going to do as the DM and players. If you guys are ready, Yurik looks at all of you. This will probably be draining. Expect to be extremely tired when you're finished. I will, however, tell you that this ritual, I have performed this ritual many times, and whether it works on this thing or not, we should be able to get some information out of it. Are you prepared?
Sure.
All right.
No, but let's do it anyways.
I don't even know what's going to happen. How can we be prepared?
He raises his hands, And there is a blast of light. You guys can see through it, though. It's not blinding you. And he begins to form an orb of energy between his hands, that same greenish gold color like when you walked into the room, but now you're in this circle with it. And if you look at your surroundings, if you look at what is around you in the room, at the people in the room, they seem hazy. It's almost like looking through heat lines, right? On blacktop. Everything seems a little hazy right now. And he begins to close his eyes and focus. And he says, I require those of you who were with the item to lend me your aid, to form a connection between me and this item and yourselves. What this means for you guys as players, I need you to pick a strength, pick an ability, pick a characteristic of yourselves. And then we're going to roll the according check, and it's going to feed into the ritual DC.
When you say ability, you mean literally an ability score, or
It could
like
be a spell.
skill, or
It
okay.
could be blood. It could be whatever it is you think is going to assist. This is we're going to slightly revamp Mercer's resurrection ritual a little bit.
Right.
And have you guys feed this ritual. So it could be knowledge. It could be, you're not giving it up, you're lending aid. So I need you guys to think about, and I will challenge you to think about what happened in that battle and what you did in order to defeat the being who held this sash.
Hmm.
Volkar, for you, it's a little bit easier because you were not there.
Oh,
Your
does that
connection,
make it easier?
It actually
I
does,
thought it
yes,
would
because
make it
your
harder.
connection is, yours is the only one that is kind of stated already, which is that you're a blood relative of Torkel's.
Right.
So he requires your blood, and it's not
Okay.
much. But you have moments to figure out what you want to do.
Well, I just take out my knife, apply it to my hand, and I wait for some kind of signal or something to.
Okay. That ball of light between his hands is slowly growing and starting to turn into a column that is encompassing the pillar where the sash sits. He is solely focused on what is happening. There's a slight wind that starts to pick up, and you all feel goosebumps raise on your skin, and that there's a sharp smell, almost like ozone, as you see him build magic between his hands.
Well, I cut deep just
Okay.
to be sure.
Okay.
I raise my hand like towards him with the blood pouring, and I focus my thoughts on my cousin, imagining him shooting at this creature that he, of course, described in his letter.
Okay. You hear, as you're doing this, Volkar, Yurik, he doesn't open his eyes still, but he says, good. That is the kind of thing that will help us. I need you all to concentrate hard. Focus on that moment. Focus on that creature who owned this sash. Concentrate. You have a round to decide, and that round is swiftly coming to a close.
Everything I remember doing was casting Explicit Retreat on myself and running around.
Well,
You shot some fireball.
you better run around, just run circles.
I can't remember. I almost died. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I almost
But I
died.
guess-
Wait, no.
Yeah.
You shot
Magic
fireballs.
is what I will help with. Just
Oh yeah, firebolt.
if you want a corner check or something, I'll just try and lend my magic.
Yeah, go ahead and make it
because that's what I
check.
did. Don't fuck your dice. Oh, Arcana check?
Yep.
17.
17? Okay. I need to keep track of the DCs here. Okay. Who else?
Hmm.
Alicia, you feel that energy pulled out of you. Like physically removed from your body. And you watch as this bolt of blue-green light shoots into the column that he is now raising, and that column is starting to stretch toward the ceiling.
Do I lose any spell slots for today? Just for like...
You don't know.
Nope.
You don't know.
Okay.
Who else is doing what?
I hexed him, so I guess I'll hurl a hex, not
Okay.
at him, but like into the
Okay.
wall. Because it's
Sure, X the cursed artifact.
no, it was that thing of like fighting evil with evil. He was all like screwed up and
Yeah.
nasty, so I threw my own screwed up and nasty at him, and it helped kill him. So
Yeah.
I have a third level hex.
Okay.
Why
As
not?
Alicia's energy feeds into the column and you see Yurik, his form is slowly starting to change. It's almost like as if you don't see it so much as you can just sense that something is happening there. And he's using that energy you're feeding this ritual into what he's trying to do. So, Hex, Neuraxis, I'm also going to have you make an Arcana check. And make sure you blow out that spell slot.
Okay, I've blown out the spell slot.
Wait, before you roll, do I see Neuraxis, right?
Oh yeah, you guys are right beside each other.
Do you want me to use the portent rolls to make sure you roll good?
I have 0 Arcana.
Yeah.
Oh,
The highest I have
you
today.
literally don't know what you're doing.
No,
But
I
you're
don't.
doing
No.
it.
Yeah.
16 is the roll for you today.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
That's cool.
That'll work. Alright.
Do I need to roll anything or remove some HP?
For you,
Constitution.
yeah, that's... It's not an immediate pull on you, Volkar. Go ahead and just make a basic
Yeah.
con check.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
I mean, it's not bad, but without any proficiency or anything. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
You're not sure how much you're helping, but you did what was asked. So
Yeah.
that's all you can do. Ulrin and
Yeah.
Hazel, you watch your comrades. You watch Volkar slash his hand. You watch Alicia start to cast, and that magic just leave her body. And you watch that dark shadow energy come off of Neuraxis, and it forms a skull just for a second in the middle of the circle, and then shoots into this column that has now reached the ceiling. And looks like it's actually going through the floor. You have seconds.
Okay. I'm going to transform into my weird tiger form.
Okay.
And I'm going to like take one of my daggers with my big paws, and I like cut myself, preferably just a little bit, like not to invoke my bloodlust or anything, but I want to like offer up the blood of the beast, like in which I turn to slay the corrupted son of a god.
Okay. You had the killing blow on him.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
If
that
you remember
feels
that.
pretty appropriate.
Yes, I do.
So I need you to make a con check with advantage. Your tie to this creature is probably the strongest out of all your companions, since you were the one who felled him.
Cool. That's only an 11.
With advantage?
With advantage.
Ooh, okay.
Sorry.
The cons are not with us today.
Yeah,
No.
I rolled a 4 and an 8.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh.
You guys watch Hazel transform into that were-tiger shape, and she slashes her paw, and when she lands, the blood runs out between the toes of her big cat feet and starts to leak into, and almost like it's running downhill, but the floor is perfectly level, and go into the pillar, and you see it join with Volkar's blood and start to move that way. Yurik very briefly opens his eyes and he looks at you, Ulrin. Do I get your assistance or not?
Yeah, so I'll like kneel down and put my hammer and shield down and take a brief second to pray, and then my spiritual weapon will show up on my back, the giant hammer of the all hammer. And then as I stand up, I'll just two-hand it and just chuck it into where the skull went, because I remember using that thing to bash the skulls.
Okay.
Right.
So.
Okay. You guys, you use the anvil, right?
Yeah, I use the anvil.
Okay. Just
But
wanted to
this
make sure
just-
for aesthetics.
I don't.
Alright.
I could chuck an anvil if you'd rather.
Okay, you can do whatever
That'd
you
be
want.
rad.
You can do whatever
God
you
damn.
want.
I mean, hammers,
That works too.
anvils.
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
Donkey
Same
Kong with a
thing,
barrel.
related.
I'll just pick up the anvil and chuck it.
I need you to go ahead and make a religion check.
All right.
Praise dwarf Jesus.
This would have been a lot better if I had been there and sing songs and something. But, you know.
20. Yeah, 20.
Okay.
Oh,
Total.
good.
Yes. I mean, he's Jesus. It'd be weird if he got less than a 20. Let's...
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. You see Ulrin's spiritual weapon in the shape and size of kind of a miniature all-hammer hammer leave him, and he throws it, and it smacks like a physical object into this column of light and then disappears. And there's dead silence for a moment. And then another moment. And you start to wonder if something went wrong. And then there is that blast of light again. And you are all thrown backwards.
Ooh.
I need you to all make wisdom saving throws.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
Come on. Oh, god damn it.
Oh, thank God. I rolled a natural 1 and a 17.
This is gonna be
Ooh.
ugly.
What?
Oh,
No.
god damn, okay.
Okay. Okay.
I got 16 with my -1. Damn.
All right. Failures. Neuraxis, Volcar, and Hazel all fail.
Wait, sorry, was it a saving throw?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, then I'm dumb. It was 17 plus 6.
Oh, then you're okay. Okay.
Oh shit! It was a saving throw.
Yeah, it was a saving
Yeah,
throw.
just-
Yeah, it was a
Just
saving
added
throw.
my wisdom.
Yeah, if you guys need to recalculate.
No, that's...
Damn.
Wisdom. The cleric.
The cleric. Still, Neuraxis and Volcar fail. Elysia just barely squeaked by with that one. Ulrin and Hazel, you guys watch your companions get thrown like ragdolls. Neuraxis actually hits a bookshelf. Neuraxis, you take 3 points of
very
bludgeoning
heavy.
damage.
Like, that's definitely damage to
Not the
books.
books.
And Volcar, let's see where you land. Okay, you actually crash into the column nearby. And
Holy
take
shit.
4 points of bludgeoning damage. Elysia skids across the floor. No damage, but she looks dazed. The two of you are able to see exactly what happens. And that column of light has exploded.
Hmm.
And what is in place of Yurik is a 10-foot tall, white-haired, black-eyed paragon of arcane energy.
Holy shit.
His features long and exaggerated, kind of like you saw in the Feywild with the elves there. The ears so pointed they hook at the ends and start to bend back down. His chin makes Jay Leno look like he has no chin. Huge forehead, bulbous eyes, but he's gorgeous. But you've never seen anything like this, even in the Feywild. And in each hand, he is holding glowing, vibrating orbs. One is cerulean, one is silver. And those orbs leave him, and they begin to circle, and circle, and circle. And then the sash begins to levitate in its own little sphere of energy. And the dark, almost blackened edges of the vines slowly start to turn brown. And the leaves that were dead fall off
That doesn't seem good.
and grow anew.
Oh,
seems
that
good.
seems
That
good.
seems better.
Right,
Yeah.
verdant green, so green it almost hurts to look at it. And then orange and red and yellow flowers begin to blossom
That seems really good.
along the edges of the sash, and he is chanting. It's a strange form of it sounds like it has roots in maybe Elvish that you're all vaguely familiar with unless you speak it. Elysia, I need you to make an Arcana check while you still have enough sense to be able to hear this. The other two who got thrown, you guys can't see, you can't hear, you're dazed right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm missing all the good stuff.
Oh no! Oh no!
An 8.
That's the natural one.
That's a 1? Okay.
Holy shit.
I rolled a natural
Oh
one.
my god, an
I'm
8 is
natural
a 1?
20s.
Wow.
If you're gonna do it, you have no idea what
gone.
he's doing. Olren, to you, it sounds like Elvish, but it's a strange form of it you've never ever heard before. That's about all you can sense. And as he starts to float up off the floor, the sash moves with him. And then there's a clap of thunder, it sounds like, that emanates through the whole room. And the sash comes back down. And Yurik starts to come back down. And Olren, I need you to make another wisdom save.
Me too? Or
Nope,
just Olren?
Just Olren.
Okay.
Uh, 20. It's a saving throw, right?
It's a save. Yep.
Okay, so plus 7, yeah, 20.
20. That's exactly the DC.
Woo!
Your vision, that's the only thing that kept you from passing out. Your vision starts to waver. I need all of you to mute yourselves, except for Olren.
Mute or
Mute and deafen.
Oh, okay.
Yep, you could stay on video, just mute and deafen, and I'll ping when you guys are good.
Whispers.
Good? Okay. Olren. Your vision is wavering, and you feel hot and cold and then hot again. And you hear the voice of the Allfather, and then the voice of the Raven Queen, and then the voice of the Allfather again, and they join. And they say, everything is blank. With this item's destruction, we lose another piece. And now images are flashing back and forth through your mind. And then that voice becomes a whisper. And it says, what if the truth is too much? Will it mean anything? What if they find out? And you are now in a darkened room, alone. Just the faintest dim light at the edges of your vision. And as you start to look, you start to see these hard angles and straight lines become visible. And it takes you a minute to make sense of what you're seeing as the lights slowly come up. And you're in the middle of an immense room. Its size almost too much to comprehend. It's like it's a presence in and of itself. And those hard angles and lines that you saw a moment ago solidify into the tops of thrones. 90, 100, maybe 120 feet tall. And the room is completely empty. And then you're knocked back. And you see the Dawnfather. A god you're familiar with, but not yours. Huge, huge man in glowing armor. Swinging a sword down on top of a Shadewatch merc. And then the last thing you see is a ship. Now far out in the ocean. And a tall, hooded figure wearing a bright green cloak. Pointing toward a skeleton who's armed with a shield and a sword. And as you focus more, all of the figures in the room except for this robed figure are skeletons, armed and armored. And the voice says, I can give you no more guidance now. We risk exposure. And your vision comes back. Okay, you guys can all come back onto video and audio for me.
I'm back.
All right.
Me too.
Hi.
Hello.
His face. Oh my god.
I can't see it! I watched the
Guys.
video.
Slowly, Volkar's vision and hearing start to come back, and Neuraxis, yours comes back slowly, and you see your friends struggling to get up off the floor. Yurik is Yurik again. And he's on the ground, and the sash sits on the pillar. And you start to get to your feet very slowly. It's almost like you just took a massive beating. It's like the worst battle you've ever been in. Your exhaustion. You guys all have a point of exhaustion.
Ooh.
Elysia, you have lost 2 first-level spell slots. Neuraxis, you've lost your ability to hex for the rest of the day. Volkar, there's a dent in your Saz.
There's a what?
There's a dent in your Saz. Slight, you can fix it, but it's there.
Not cool.
Hazel, you're in tiger form.
Oh no! Well, I tried to turn back. Hey guys!
Oh no.
Oh
No,
no.
no, 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 no.
And you guys are all starting to get up to your feet. You see Allura and Drake rush over to Yurik. There's commotion all of a sudden now in the middle of this room. And while this is all happening, Hazel, that moment you tried to transform back, this has never happened. You've never been stuck. It's been painful, it's been difficult to transform back sometimes, especially when you were younger. But you're stuck right now.
Yeah, I'm not entirely okay with this. I'm kind of hoping that, like, I'm kind of hoping it will go away again at some point.
Are you
I like.
okay?
Hazel,
You're all, yeah.
It's okay. I'll just I'll fine. I now start whipping nervously with my tail.
okay.
I was gonna say Alicia walks over to Hazel and just starts patting her and it's okay, we're gonna find a solution to this.
Yeah, right.
Slowly walks over because she's there.
I don't.
I kind of go down, I lower myself into myself, I tuck my paws in, and I try to make myself as small as possible.
The director's just trying to shield you with his body,
You're
see here,
going into
everything
a
is
cat
fine.
hole.
Just ignore the tiger lady, you can't see anything.
Yeah, I'm just
Sorry.
I look at my bleeding end, And then I realized that my sash was in my back when I went flying against that column. I look at my sash and I'm like, oh shit, I cast mending.
Okay.
Like fuck my hand, I cast mending.
Okay. You see the dent pop out a little bit, you know, like denting or popping out a dent in a car fender. It pops out just a little bit, and then it pops out again.
Yeah,
Messed up the paint job just a smidge. You can fix it though. It'll be okay.
that's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. Hazel.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh no is right. You lose track of where you're at for a second,
Oh no.
and then you're in your cave. You're in the cave
Oh,
you
no.
called home for years.
Hmm.
Oh no. Oh
And
no.
the sun from
Not here.
the sunrise just slowly coming into the cave. And the fire pit that you've used for how many meals at this point sparks to life.
I don't want to be back here.
I need you to make a perception check. It'll be with advantage because it's your keen smell.
Don't smell my blood, don't smell my blood, don't smell my blood.
That's a 14.
Okay,
14.
that'll do it. You smell wet fur.
Sorry, I smell
And-
what you cut out there. I did not.
Oh,
hear
sorry.
What you said.
You smell wet fur.
No.
And like moldy leaves that have been sitting on the forest floor too long. And then there's a moment where you turn around and behind you are two monstrously huge yellow eyes.
Hmm.
And I think as I'm in my tiger form, I instinctively go into a defensive sort of very position, and I'm very upset right now because I never wanted to come back to this place again, and I just stare at the eyes, and I think I reach for my bow. Sort of as a reassurance. I also check if I have my crossbow still with me, because I remember that was given, that I found that during the adventures with my friends, and I check if it's still there.
You have no weapons on you.
Damn.
I mean, technically you are a weapon, but
Yes, but
Those eyes blink, and then they blink again, and out of the back of that cave steps roughly the size of a adolescent dragon, the biggest tawny tiger you've ever seen.
hmm.
Who are you?
Bends its head down, looking at you, eyes narrowed, and it says, "Why do you reach for a crossbow when I gave you weapons that never leave your form?"
Because the crossbow reminds me of my friends. Because the crossbow reminds me that I managed to get out of here. And I never wanted to come back here because it reminds me that I don't have to be alone again.
You're never alone. My huntress, I created you to be fury and power. Do not deny who you are.
You're the one who made me. You're the one who turned me into this.
I didn't turn you into anything. This is how you started.
Yeah. I know that.
Good. Do not forget who you are, child. Salah, my huntress, I will see you very soon.
Wait, please tell me why you did this. Please tell me why I am like this. Please tell me why I had to leave them all behind.
You're back in the ritual hall.
What am I supposed to be doing?
And you guys see Hazel back in her halfling form.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Well, I'm glad that sorted itself out.
I just kind of just go to my knees and rub my start rubbing my own shoulders, and I just look at everyone, and
Alicia just
I touch the floor to make sure that this is not a dream or something, and I'm back here.
In this chaos happening around you in the hall, it seems to be quieting down at this point. Yurik is sitting in a chair. It looks like Drake has brought it over to him. He looks completely drained. The sash is on the pillar. Still flowering. And you guys watch, as you look at it, you see the flowers bloom, die, and then regrow. Every 30 seconds or so, these flowers blossom, and then they die, and then regrow again.
That would be a little awkward to wear. You walk around
good
with
time.
dead leaves all over the place.
I
Did we?
pick up my shield and my hammer, and I go walk over to Hazel and put my hand on her shoulder. And just watch and wait.
Well, that was... God, my back... These bloody shelves. Is it done?
Yeah, did we do it?
Yurik is getting to his feet at this point and reaches over to the sash, and you see his hand. I mean, this is a man who some of you just saw become a strange, incredibly powerful entity while this was happening. But his hand now shakes like an old man's. And he reaches out to the sash, and the moment he touches it, it withers and dies.
What
Yes, that's a
did
no
you
then.
do?
Does it grow flowers again after a moment, or
No.
no? Fine.
What did you do, old man?
What did
Raxus,
we do?
calm down.
I
Well,
fear that the latent energy in this item, there was only so much. It was a finite amount. And in order to sever the connection with all of you, it took what remained of its essence. I got flashes of a past life, of it being created and imbued with the essence of nature, but the who and the where and the when they're not clear. But it's not...
Better destroyed than corrupted, right?
Well, that was one outcome I had weighed. That we would potentially be destroying the item, but also securing safety for anyone in its vicinity. I am very, very tired. I need... And he looks back at Mally. She's kind of kept her distance at this point. I need you all to leave. This is not of the Wild Mother, therefore it is not your concern. And you and I will talk about courtesy later. And she kind of sniffs and puts her hood up and leads her clerics out the back door.
while this is happening, I just take Ulrin's hand, to calm myself down.
There's a long pause. And then, from where he was in the chair, Yurik looks up. She's gone. We can speak. not looking like an old, frail man anymore.
Wait, what?
She requires a show every now and then. She likes to think I'm old and I need put in my place. She's gone. We can speak freely now. I can tell you exactly what happened.
Great.
Please do.
Speak.
It's not a sentient item. I'm sure you've heard of sentient or intelligent items, right? Created with powerful magics. It's not like we understand those items to be in the world. There was just a tiny spark left of its consciousness. And it asked me where it was. And when I tried to convey any information, it didn't want to know about me, or any of you, or the Spires, or Singorn. And it was almost as if I could see the map of the world and we were moving out away from it. And it wasn't until I projected this image of Exandria at large to it that it told me it wasn't of this place. That it was old and the world was new and it didn't belong here.
Here as in this plane, or here as in this?
From a tiny spark of what was left, that was all I could get from it.
Well, I mean, y'all found it in the Feywild. I'd be surprised if it came from here.
Fair point.
It also told me that none of its companions who are left belong here.
Companions?
It told me of a book. It told me of a cloak. It told me of a sword and a shield and a scroll and a crossbow and a handful of other things that it was trying to convey and couldn't get across before it died.
That would be the thing's companions, I assume.
It was trying to, that was my understanding, it was trying to relay other items, other, I don't dare say beings because it wasn't a full consciousness, but other essences, perhaps?
Artifacts of sorts.
I'm
This
starting to
cloak.
wonder.
We've read about a cloak that kind of, I don't know if the same cloak, but it's popped up a lot in our adventures so far.
Tell me about it.
Let's see if I have my notes on it. I have written something about it.
A couple of you have seen it a few times.
Yeah. The
Me and
Witch
Araxis
Queen
mostly.
has it on a boat
Is
and
it
she
light
uses
green?
it to control undead. The Necromancer had it as a symbol in a book.
That sounds friendly.
Yeah.
Well, the Witch Queen used it to raise armies of undead, which I think has something to do with my axe, because the Red Knight was fighting armies of undead, and then the axe warned me about a sword and a Gat Shadow.
Does any of this ring any bell? Because there's some like old stories that the bard might maybe possibly know.
Go ahead and do a history check for me.
Yeah.
And Yurik made one as well. Actually, he needs to make two.
He's probably better
Wait,
than
thinking
me.
about the cloak, we had the scary book as well.
A boy.
Yeah, that we don't have that anymore.
What
No,
the
but
fuck is that?
you gave that to
Alora.
the
I mean,
scary book.
Volkar, you've definitely heard lots of stories over the years and over your travels of powerful items.
But I have no idea.
But specifics, yeah, that's a little iffy here. Yurik looks at you, Nebraxis. Your axe, you said.
I mean,
The Red Knight. I'm familiar with her story.
mine is in I own it, but I didn't. It's the Red Knights, I guess. He just reaches his hand out and it appears.
May I?
I'm gonna get this one back, right? It's like holding it with both hands, like.
I have no interest or no need for an axe, so yes, it is yours. He is
Hands it
going
over.
to look at it. Okay. It takes a moment, and you see his eyes go black for a second, and then refocus. And do you know what this thing can do?
I don't know, smells evil. It knows when bad things are around and helps me hurt them.
Yes.
And it keeps making me see things, which I don't know whether is supposed to happen.
I have no
It's
children,
very,
so I'm just going to be laughing.
He's very matter of fact because he doesn't understand Arcana or anything. So he's like, is it supposed to do that? I don't know. It just does.
It's part of a set. And he moves it in a very swift, easy way, and he hands it back to you. That's all I can get. It's part of a set. It goes with some other martial, another weapon perhaps, or a helmet. It's hard to tell, but it's part of a set.
I mean,
No, it's not that helmet.
No, I think the helmet would be like this big. That would
God helmet.
I mean, it. I mean, not it. They. She.
The Red Knight, yes.
Yeah.
Half-orc warrior of some renown. As the oldest of the stories that I know goes, she went into the Underdark to fight basically an entire city of Duragar and other nasties that you do find underneath the mines of Craghammer, where the dwarves dare to dwell too deeply, of course. And and she came out victorious. It's a jolly good story, but it's a story.
It wants me to go to her tomb.
She probably actually went there, but with other people.
Oh yeah, she was at the head of a not insignificant army.
Right.
That's part of how one of the stories go, yes. And the other, of course, is that she fought everything off single-handedly and...
No, there were definitely other people there.
The undead thing tracks, though, that there were also undead. I remember one of the versions of the story in my younger days in taverns, hearing that she had went into, basically, catacombs that had sunk a little too far underground, and the dead there rose, and evil, battle, all of that. But this thing, and he gestures at what's left of the sash, it's slowly disintegrating. It's slowly turning into ash.
Yeah.
No, my things.
What was left of this... I have only one suggestion. And that's all of you join the Arcana Pensophical.
Yes, please.
Why?
You'd have part of the authority that I can give you, which also means the ability to get into places where commoners can't. You would be agents like your friend Tyrax. You guys are just now realizing that Tyrax has moved. He's been in the back of the room this whole time, kind of looking like he's stunned. You also see a shock of white hair through his black hair now.
Well, that's kind of his thing, coming to some sort of
Oh dear.
big deal. So yeah.
If you're willing to hunt down these companion items or any rumors, I would pay you. And you would be proxy agents for the Pansophical. It's not exactly something I can't give you a badge you flash around, you understand. But you would literally be... This is so trite. You would literally be heroes.
Really?
But I don't think you get to
Where do you think most of the heroes have come from whose tales you know now?
Humble beginnings.
Humble
Draconia.
beginnings. We had many, many agents working for the Pansophical who were members of Draconian civilization. Our net goes far wider.
Well, that's easy to say from your point of view, of course.
I mean no disrespect, but there's already sort of another organization that I'm kind of spoken for. Also, I'm not entirely sure if you would be so happy with my abilities to a certain degree.
I don't know. I mean, Tyrax turns into a camel.
But I think he doesn't tend to lose his mind and people at random as a camel. I mean, at least I hope so.
You know, how about we all
I
get
was
some
more
rest
referring
and
to
talk
blood
about this?
magic.
The offer stands. Either way.
I'll take the offer regardless if anyone else does it.
Then we will discuss that later.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to your companions. I don't require all of you. I simply need to know that someone is trying to track these items down so they don't fall into the wrong hands.
Oh, I'm all about preventing those from falling into wrong hands, and
Me too.
just don't
Like,
know about joining Pansophical.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
could we
Exactly my
could we
thing.
still help Elijah if she
Of
looks
course.
for these items, even if we're not members? Then that's okay.
I'd love
I
a
don't
magic
need to
sword
be a
and a magic
member.
axe. Maybe they can be friends and they'll stop bothering me.
There will be, if it's only one or two of you, if it's not all of you, there will be some things that I have to discuss with Elijah that she will not be able to relay to the group at large, but your
Yeah. We all have
job,
secrets.
yes, your job would be to retrieve these. I would still pay you whether you are part of the Pansophical or not.
I mean, I don't need the Pansophical, but I could certainly use some assistance in the larger scheme of things.
And you would be considered contract workers. Free to break the contract whenever you would like.
That sounds good to me. I trust Alicia. I'll go with her wherever you send her, if she wants me to.
Well,
I'd love to have you along.
Yay!
that's a discussion for later, and he looks at you, Hazel. I'm not so worried about what you can or cannot do. And he looks back at Tyrax. A lot of my agents have come from not so pure beginnings, you understand.
I see. I'll think about it.
That's all I ask. We're going to take a break right there.
Break time.
All right. In the aftermath of this thing that just happened, Uric leaves you alone. He leads you to very nicely appointed guest rooms with a separate dining room and leaves you and Tirax at a table pretty much groaning with food. And
Food.
decides to just with a final nod at all of you, leaves the room with Drake. Allura is with you as well. And as you, Naraxis and Ulrin, you both notice as Uric exits the room, you do see there is an actual, just very slight tremor in his hand.
Well, speaking of hands, I show mine to Ulrin and I'm like, hey, mind doing something about this? My bleeding end.
Sure. And I guess I'll cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Is it that bad of a I don't know. Does it look that bad when I look at it, or is it just like a cut? Like okay.
It's a deep cut.
Check. Just make a medicine check, just for shits and giggles.
Is this just stitches or? Like...
There you go. Yeah. Okay.
13.
I mean, he definitely drug a very sharp blade across the meat of his palm.
Yeah.
And it's not pretty.
It's not just a surface cut,
Yeah,
you know.
it's not a paper cut.
I went
It's
for
definitely-
real just to be sure that it worked.
Yeah.
It hurts
Also hurt my
emotionally
back.
too. Do you need some
there's a
emotional
little emotional.
or some like, please
issues
heal?
He's a musician. His hands are important.
All right.
That's true, yeah.
They are his money
If you screwed up his...
I'll cast Cure Wounds on his
Cool. And that also heals my back, so I'm happy.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I see.
Go ahead and roll that 12. Yeah, more than overkill.
Yeah.
You feel so
Yeah.
fucking good, Volcar. You feel good.
But I'm still tired.
Yeah, except for the exhaustion part of it. Yeah, but you feel like you start to like, oh, I could take on that. Oh, I'm still tired. Hold on, never mind. But I'm good.
Yeah, did we
but
all
I'm not.
get-
all have a
All of
point
us got
exhaustion.
exhaustion. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Can say. Oh yeah.
It's disadvantage on ability checks until your
Yeah.
long rest.
So with that, I can clean my hand and start eating.
Yeah.
Don't want to bleed all over the food.
Let me see here. Allura is very quiet. Tirax looks at all of you and says, so, I don't want to leave you all in the dark because I do count you all as friends, and what he was referring to earlier, and I had mentioned, I think, early on, is that I actually started as a spy. I was a spy for several governments. Agent, double agent. I did heinous things in order to get the information that was requested, and I was good at it. I was very good at it. And it cost me someone very dear, and Uric took me in. He gave me a second chance. It's just my understanding of the man and the business that he does, but he's never led me astray. And whether you take him up on his offer or not, the Pansophical's point is to make sure that magic is not misused to hurt people. And so I have always held that one principle of the group very near and dear. That's all I have. I can't convince you one way or the other. It is your decision. But you will do what you do.
I mean, that sounds really good. It's a good cause. Just not one to, associate myself with either governments or organizations of any sort.
It's not their only cause, though. They enforce their truth. Control magic, what people can and can't do with their own gifts.
I'm all for like protecting people from dangerous magic stuff, and I'll happily help with that. But I kind of have the feeling that my main path lies elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm happy to help. I'm just not
Yeah.
joining in any official capacity. I mean, you know.
Well, I'm joining both because I think it's a noble cause, and because I know that if I help them, they might help me, and I'll get access to things that I wouldn't have access to, that I will probably need in the future.
We can be happy to have you, Elijah.
I have other things I need to do, and I can't promise that their truth or their rules would always come first. I'm not going to lie to them and say that it would. I'll help. Of course I'll help. But
What about you,
Yeah.
Jorenn?
Help and don't join. That's what I'm gonna do. Hired help.
you
I think
don't have
I'd,
to be a paladin to be a good person.
yeah.
Exactly.
I think I'll help, but I don't think that being part of any organization would work out well right now.
Yeah, I mean you're already a cleric, right? You're with the Allhammer.
You have a crew.
I don't think anything's gonna come before that, right?
Yeah. So I don't do well with organizations or like order or structure of any type of politics or anything like that. So I'd like to just help as much as I can and give whatever skills I have to help the cause. So
Well,
Then I'll be our ambassador.
yep.
So I grab whatever drink is within reach of me, wherever I'm sitting and eating, and I go like, "Well, here's to independent helpers." And Alicia.
Yeah!
Alora has been kind of listening to all of you, and she says, that was a lot to process, and I need to have a long conversation with Yurik, but no matter whether you join or not, know that you will have resources at your disposal, and Alicia specifically can get in touch with me or Drake whenever she chooses. And we will discuss that in a moment, but you will have contact back. That way, if you find yourselves in situations where you need assistance, it's likely it will be lended. If we're in any position to, it will be given to you. And Noraxis, I will also note that Yurik has a vested interest in seeing Draconia rise. He lost many, many agents in the attack, and relied on draconian magic and abilities to aid him in his work. So that may be a conversation you want to broach with him at some point.
Perhaps best if he hears it from me than someone else.
I'm just saying. He's a good ally to have. But I'm biased. I've been a member of the Pansophical for 20 years, so... And it's less organized than you think. Yurik is the head of it, but because we still try to remain as elusive as possible, sometimes we have to operate in the shadows, and people like Tyrax are better at it than others. You have allies, you just need to figure out how to deploy them.
I trust you, and I trust Kima, and I trust Elijah will tell us the truth. Whatever it is you need doing, she'll tell us and we'll do it.
Agreed.
That trust is not misplaced, not in my opinion. I'm going to bed after I speak with Yurik. Alicia, would you follow me for a moment, please?
Yes, of course.
Very good. I need the rest of you to mute yourselves, please. Mute and deafen, Alicia.
Sure.
There we go again.
Alicia. She
Yes.
leads you out into a couple of hallways, and then into a small office. And she says, there is no oath. There's no raise your hand and swear on the Pansophical. There isn't any of that. You will be expected to track these companion items down. You will be expected to report back to myself or Yorick when you deem fit. You are, as you pointed out earlier, an ambassador between your party members and the Pansophical. And I give you this. And she hands you over. It's roughly the size of like a, I don't know, it's about this big. It's a small silver shield with a Pansophical eye on it. This is your last resort. We operate in secret, but if you need to get into a room with leaders, if you need to make your way into places where you wouldn't normally have access, you can, at your discretion, use this. But it is not to be flashed around with civilians. It is not to be shown to guards. Do you understand?
Understand. I understand. Use it only when necessary and keep it secret, keep it safe.
Yes. You are a creature of caution anyways, so I trust that you'll be able to handle that. And know when it's appropriate.
Yeah. Well, that happens when you grow up in a not so stable country.
One other thing. And I'm only doing this because it is your business and none of the others. It's up to you whether you want to speak to them or not about this. I found your parents.
Wait, what?
At least I think it's them.
Where? Are they alive or are they...
They're alive.
What happened to them?
They are working, and I use that term very loosely because I don't think it's of their own free will, for a man called the Imperialist.
Where? In the...
Near Dagger Bay.
Wildland?
We have heard some rumors about this man over the last few months. We've been observing only. He is gathering, it seems to be a small army for causes unknown. He took prisoners from ships and are using them as forced labor on his farms.
I can't believe that happened.
But they are alive. As far as I can, as far as the information I can get is that they are alive, but their conditions are not great.
Thank you so much. I need to contact my aunt and tell her.
Of
But
course.
that has to wait.
Of course.
We have so much to do.
Well,
But thank you.
welcome. And she gives you the shield. It's quite small. It's enough that you can easily conceal it on your person. And she starts to leave, and she looks back at you, and she says, I don't know what's going to happen. We have seen some strange things in the wake of the Chroma Conclave, in the wake of the rise of Vox Machina and gaining the gods' favors and all of these things, and I just trust that if you are all to follow a similar path, even remotely similar, that you be careful.
Always.
And if you have questions, contact. Do not hesitate to contact one of us.
I have one question now. We have business somewhere else first. These items, can they wait just a few weeks while we have some shade mark business, and we have some of us took some blood. What's the name? Yeah, we. I can't remember the blood arrangement. Blood. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a contract.
Contract.
Yeah.
That was the word I was looking for.
It's
I
okay.
can't remember it. Blood contract, and I do not want to see my friends die. So we'll handle that, and then I'll get everyone onto this, finding items and making sure we get things to safety, because I want to know what's going on.
Well, as do I, and like the Imperialist, like the Shade Watch, they have been on our radar as well. There have been not great rumors coming out of Jorenn Village that their leader is playing with things she doesn't quite understand. Strange creatures roaming the village at night and in the woods. I've had a couple of field reports that Yuan Ti roam the forests now, which is strange because they either come from Marquette or they come from Schult. They come from the Reifenmus jungle. So
We need to deal with those two, and
They
these
can
items
wait.
are definitely.
but just keep an eye and an ear out.
We need to keep an eye on Era, yes, but like I need to keep my friends safe, and I don't think
Understood.
making this lady wait is a good way to do that. And I need their help, and they need mine. But
Understood.
thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Try to get some rest.
I don't think I will do that for now. I think I have. My mind is occupied.
She leads you back to the room and where your friends are.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys can come back. Come back.
Come back.
Okay. Tyrax has taken his leave as well, and it's just you guys in this room.
You'll just see Alicia's like she's just freaking out right now. Like she's not all there.
Are you? Did they? Hey, did they do something to you?
No, they didn't do anything. Just
Should we kick their asses?
no,
Yeah.
not at all. No,
All right.
no.
Oh,
What?
okay.
Because they seem nice, so I didn't.
I
want
got
anyone.
some information that I've been looking for a long time, and I have so much to do. We have so much to do.
Yeah, I get what that's like.
Speaking of,
Are we still going to look into that shade watch thing?
That's our first business, and I told Alora
Good.
that we can watch. We're looking for the items, but the shade wash is our top priority because some of us made a contract.
Yep.
All right, yeah. There was this contracting.
Yeah.
Then I forgot
One problem
about
at a
that.
time till there's no problems left.
And as far as the items go, we only. Or do we have any clue where some of the others are?
So,
The cloak?
is on a boat.
Yes.
But we don't know where that boat is. Or do we?
I don't think so.
Also, it's a boat, it's probably moving.
Yes.
At least that's what I
So-
heard about boats. I don't think I've ever seen a boat before.
I think the sword is under Gat Shadow. But I'm not supposed to look for it before I've seen the Red Knight.
Well, I mean, we know that the Shade Watch are doing shady things around this place, so
Shade wash first.
Yeah.
I need to get to Dagger Bay somewhere in the near future.
Where's that?
Where's Dagger Bay? Never got info with that. I just know I have to go to Dagger.
Dagger Bay?
Dagger Bay.
right here,
Yes, I say.
I need to go to the.
south of Amon,
I wish I looked there.
west of where you are now. I can actually zoom in on that a little bit.
But
across the Dagger Bay Mountains, and it's over by the ruins of Onoa. So, right in this area.
I need to go there, but I would like to have a bit more power and knowledge.
Ooh, we gotta kill something big.
Right.
We gotta kill something big.
A guy is trying to create an army, it looks like, and my parents might be there.
Wait, helping him?
I don't think it's voluntarily. They disappeared when I was a child, and I've been looking for them almost all my life, and Alora told me they have maybe seen them there, and
Maybe.
It's all I've got. I've been looking since I was 16 for them, and this is the first piece of information I've really got.
So should we not go there soon, like in case they move, or do you think they'll be there a while?
I think they'll be there. Shade Wash first, and
Okay.
I know you have things too, but if it's gathering an army, I don't want to head in there without knowing I can do it.
What are they gathering an army for? Do you know that?
No idea. That's also a thing I need to research.
No one gathers an army for peace. They're expensive and cumbersome, and you have to feed them, and give me some time.
It seems like most people are gathering armies. I've learned that my former mentor that I'm looking for, I've also learned that she is recruiting people for something.
Maybe it's a gigantic war that everyone knows about except us.
Yeah, like some kind of war going on that we don't know about because we've been to the Feywild or something. Should we check like the newspaper? Go to the town crier.
Read all about it. Word plunges into war. Like, oh god, how long will
How long were we gone?
Well, I guess.
Furious typing.
Shade Watch. Square
Shade
one.
Watch.
Shade Watch.
Yeah.
Shade Wash.
So we need to go
Third word.
towards Westrun for that, right?
Jorenn Village.
Yeah,
guys
Jorenn.
started.
Which is up there.
Yep. It is here at the foot of the Umber Hills.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You guys were there
that's
for
a
like a half a second, and then.
Yeah. We started there and suddenly we teleported.
Yep.
Oh, now we're in the desert, guys. Well.
How long was that contract thing that we had with the blood chick? Like, was it
That
like
chick.
Went to meet her.
Yeah, like how
Yeah,
many
we
days left do we have?
About,
Like a day?
Ooh, you have about
to
a
meet
day and
there?
a half.
Okay, because I know the festival was like
And we
cutting
need to
it
rest
short.
right now.
It takes a while to get there as well, which is...
I'm guessing the Pensophical can send
That's
us there.
what I was gonna say. Is
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
they have teleportation magic, because that's
Yeah,
we're
we've been
gonna have to ask
sent
about
around
that.
a lot at my work.
Yeah. You, I mean,
Wait.
and T-Rex and Mizray had both mentioned that there's Jorenn, and then there are outlying villages. One that they were both familiar with is a place called Irwin. That actually
we should
sits
go there
about
first.
here in the Black Valley.
Okay.
So it's kind of
So
wedged
maybe-
between Western and Jorenn.
So maybe
Okay.
if they could get us to Westrun or something, we could just travel from there.
Yep.
Get us
grab a
Western,
cart.
I can dump off all the books we got in the desert.
Ooh.
Dump them off
Clear
where?
up some space. My home?
Are we gonna go see your home?
Nah, we don't need to see it, just dump off the books. Or if we have a terrible time, we can just ask to be headed straight there.
I mean, if you don't want to leave them in the library here, don't see why not.
Yep.
We
Couldn't
have
hurt to ask.
we can ask.
Although
But
I
we should
don't know
probably
about the-
sleep.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of you. I need a sleep.
We need sleep.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
pretty
sore,
exhausted.
And I am tired.
Yeah.
I need to think.
First we rest and then we get over there. might be best to ask now for the whole teleport thing, though.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah,
be
sure.
sure they're gonna be able to help us maybe in the morning.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I don't see why not.
How do we get someone? Do we just
That
call
sounds like a job
ourselves?
for Alicia.
That's also
Official ambassador.
Yeah, you're their friends now.
Oh, French might be stretching it a bit far. Work acquaintances is probably better. No. Yeah, DM, where can I find someone to ask them about teleport?
Yeah, it only takes a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
You can ask a servant, and they grab someone who eventually actually takes you to Uric.
Hey, Yuri.
Hey.
So he is
I mean-
in his library, and books everywhere on this table he's seated at. A glass of wine nearby, and he motions you in. Close the door behind you, if you don't mind.
I closed the door.
All right. Yeah, you just want to come out and ask him about.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask, hey, we're heading to Jorenn Village, I think, or Western. I'm not sure. We're heading that direction, and is there any way we can get a teleport there tomorrow? We're short on time. We have a contract that kind of expires soon.
We have a day and a half to get there.
Yeah, we have a day and a half to get there, and traveling takes time.
You have. Is this an ally? Is this a. I mean.
We're trying. We're gonna help someone with to try and get rid of, I think, the Shade Watch, or at least try and clean up there. And
That's a probably a good thing that you're doing that. We've heard some concerns coming out of that area of Taldore that the leader of that particular group of, they used to just be mercenaries, is trying to. I've heard two things. One, she's crazy, and she has committed many misdeeds and even all the way up to murder at this point. And the other is that she is also crazy, but is trying to amass power.
So she's either crazy or crazy. That's great.
There are levels of crazy.
The lesser of two crazies.
Yeah. None of it very settling, all of it disconcerting. So
yeah,
it certainly is a worthwhile cause. Anyone who tries to amass power, it never, most of the time it doesn't go well. It usually backfires, but in this case it sounds like she is sacrificing civilians for her purposes, which is not something that obviously we approve of. So.
no, we want to help, and we have a contract with someone who was going to help us, or we were going to help her, and that contract expires. So is there any way we can get someone to teleport us in the area?
Yes.
Tomorrow after
check
this
with
week.
check with either Allura or Drake in the morning. That shouldn't be an issue.
You cut out right in the name.
Oh no! No, I said check with either Allura or Drake. It shouldn't be an issue in order to get you to. Now, granted,
It happened again.
You could have just had the name. Who are we checking
Every
with?
time just at the name.
hey, check with
Hey.
Drake.
Okay,
There.
Drake.
Oh,
then.
God.
Check with Allura in the morning.
Drake or Elora. Good.
Here
Yeah.
we go.
And they can hopefully assist you with that. I
Thank you.
wouldn't recommend, this is just from, take it from a very, very old man. I wouldn't recommend maybe jumping feet first into what is probably an extremely dangerous situation.
I never go feet first.
I always go feet first.
Fireball first, axe second.
There are surrounding villages.
Head
there
first.
are, I mean,
Yeah, we have I don't think we have a plan yet, but we are not jumping in with weapons and magic and just storming the castle.
Yeah.
We're
I would
Like,
prefer,
like,
especially
just kill 'em
not
all.
as an agent of the Pensophical, that you
No.
do that.
no,
Ah.
we're
we should not mention it, probably.
Yeah.
Who are you working with?
I wrote down the name, but I can't remember.
I mean, it's up to you whether you divulge that information or not. So.
I'm gonna say it, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't think I can pronounce it.
Her name is Ms. Ray Zolan.
Yep.
Miss Ray
Or-
Solon.
Got it.
yeah.
Fine.
I've written it down, but I couldn't.
And I spelled
know
it
how-
right. Yay.
Good, yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
I actually spelled it right. Yeah. So I'd say Miss Ray Solon to them and just like.
I know the name. Actually, because I've hired her before, so you're in good enough hands as long as you don't break contract with her.
Yep, that's the plan. AKA get there as fast as we can, so we
Now
don't
I
break the
understand the
contract.
urgency. Got it.
Yeah, we have
Right.
less time because we made the contract at the beginning of the festival, and we spent time at the festival.
Yeah, kind of partied down after it.
Running a little bit on deadline, are you?
Yes,
Hmm.
and I don't like being on deadline. And
Why? He actually reaches over kind of around a pile of books and then brings out, it's a glass vial about yay big, and in it is a pile of ash. This is all that's left of the sash.
well, it can't do any more danger now.
It can't, but I also... It's sad, almost. It's as if we witnessed the dying of something we never had the chance to fully comprehend.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel
Lost
a bit
information.
nostalgic about that. I've been around, well, quite some time. And whenever anything passes through this world as the last of its kind, I assume it's the last of its kind, there's just a bit of sadness about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it here. We have vaults here that I can lock it away. I don't think ash can do any damage other than make someone cough, but I don't want to take the chance.
Don't take the chance. Keep it safe. Keep it hidden.
It's secret. Keep it safe.
It's safe.
Allura
said that
tells me
already
you've
today.
accepted my proposition.
That's the only one in our party, yes.
Be their emissary,
Yeah.
and be my eyes and ears.
I'll report to you when we find any information, and I'll also send you all the information I already have on the cloak that I think might be one of the items.
That will be useful. I can work on trying to track down more exact locations of these items, because we are, in essence, I don't prefer this term, but we are a shadow organization. I have ways of finding some secrets and other bits of information that aren't as readily available. I actually will put Tirax on that. He's quite good at that kind of information retrieval. So.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I am going to sit here and stare off into space and perhaps drink one too many glasses of wine.
I'm gonna try and sleep. Probably not, because so much happened.
I'd recommend at
good
least
night.
trying to get sleep. All right. We'll see you in the morning.
Tries the word.
All right. And you guys, is there anything else anybody wants to do before you rest?
Nope. Just
Do we have enough time to do our homework, Elysia? That we have not, that we didn't do
The
because
book?
we were partying.
If you're
The
going
book
to
or the- Okay.
I mean,
I'm gonna-
in my case, it's who we're packed with, and then Hazel had some.
Yeah, if you're going to the library, I'd like to go with you before we go to bed.
We need a chaperone so we don't upset the
I
books.
need an adult.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Alicia's young, so you could try and have an adult. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have
She's
way
not
more
gonna-
experience with books
With
than
like-
both
yeah.
of us do.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I kill people.
Yeah.
That's not a...
She- I'm not
Same.
gonna sleep for a couple of hours. My brain is in. I think reading will do me some good. So yeah, I'll help you at least for a couple of hours, and then we need sleep. We need to. He said that the person that we're dealing with, Miss Ray, is not the best kind of person to cross. So
Yeah.
I got
But
that
I'll help you.
impression.
yeah,
There are libraries here. It's
Yeah.
not difficult to walk into pretty much any room packed with books. It's almost actually impossible. It's very difficult to find a book that isn't, or a room that's not filled with books. Yeah, you can wander a little bit. Just Alicia, do an investigation check, and I'll give you advantage because these two are helping you.
Oh no, I'm
Then
gonna get that advantage because the first roll was 2.
Okay.
Come on.
2 plus, I think, yeah, investigation is 4. Yeah. It's 21.
21. Okay. You do wander a little bit, open a few doors. Curiosity gets the better of you for a second, and you kind of peek your head into a few doors. You do come across a couple locked ones, and then eventually make your way to a smaller version of the grand library that Yurik has here in the tower. You've actually gone up a couple of floors, and you're now in this very nicely appointed library. There's no one else in here, and you guys can start digging around. It looked like someone had been here not too long ago. There's still a couple candles burning, and some parchment that's been moved around, but it's right now it's empty. So what were you guys exactly wanting to do?
I wanted to read up, try to see if I could find any tiger person who I assume is some kind of god. So I would probably do research, or do research together with Alicia in the direction of deities of the wilderness and the hunt and such.
Okay. Alicia, if you lend her, I'm assuming you're assisting her, right?
I'm helping, yeah.
Okay. So
I'm just pointing out, okay, you're looking for that, and it's probably that shelf, or probably more that, but yeah.
Okay. Go
Helping
ahead
the best
and
I
roll
can.
with advantage with her assistance. Roll an investigation check.
I do that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I've missed all the stuff going in on the chat here. 12 with advantage.
12. Yes, with
Okay.
advantage.
You do manage to find a couple of titles that deal with strange forest creatures that have either been hunted to extinction. You find a couple of things about the Wild Mother, how she is an extremely neutral entity because nature itself is neutral. You read things about forests that under her sway and power would grow out of nothing and then would completely disappear if she deemed the land too corrupted. And you do find a couple of stories about, it sounds more like folklore, but it's hard to tell the way it's written, of cave systems that run all along the major mountains across Taldore that you used to find, and still can, maybe, depending on where you dig, bones of unidentified creatures.
No mention of any tiger-like entity.
Nothing like that, no.
Okay.
You read a little bit on lycanthropy, that some bones, there used to be rumors before people got smarter about it, that you caught lycanthropy from touching cursed bones. A lot of roundabout stuff, but yeah. What else were you guys doing?
So, Atian told me
I'm
that
just resting.
I thought myself something to do with the demons. I guess trying to find books about that, demons that make deals or that sort of not famous is maybe the wrong word, info making.
Okay. Go ahead and roll investigation. I'm also assuming, Alicia, you're helping with this too.
Of course.
Okay, so advantage. As long as one of you is assisting, especially with Alicia being the bookish type.
15.
Down on one of the bottom shelves, covered in cobwebs, didn't look like these books have moved for some time. You do find a set of books written by, there's no author, about the 9 hells and the discordant way that the 9 hells operates from other demonic planes and portals. That the 9 hells, and this isn't completely unknown to you, that is an extremely lawful system, lawful evil, but still lawful system of planes, whereas some of the other demi-planes were started because certain demons and devils did not like acting by these laws, and they started their own, essentially, pocket dimensions. You run across a story about, hold on just a second, about sentient weapons and demons or devils being held in those items. And then you run across the story of, and I'm going to put it in the chat, a sword called Gratschar.
That sounds friendly.
That's
Right.
rumored to be the weapon, or once was the chosen weapon, of one of the major demons in the 9 hells.
I have a question, DM.
Mm-hmm.
One of the books Neuraxis found about like demons and contracts. Is that the same book that I have?
I don't know, is it?
Probably.
Is it?
If you need this book, Neuraxis,
seem to be
Ulrun has it in his
similar.
bag.
Yeah. There's a now that you're thinking about it, there's a similarity. And to answer your question, Ulrun, for Neuraxis, these words seem to be used interchangeably.
I
Okay.
don't know any better.
So fiend, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Evil.
nice entity. Yeah.
Evil!
Evil
They're
shenanigans.
coming for you, Barbara. Yeah, that's kind of that way. So that's a whole movie. Yeah, it's again written by an anonymous author. I'm gonna have Alicia make an investigation check. Actually, make a history check for me. Now that I'm looking at this,
With or without advantage?
just straight history.
Straight history?
Mhm.
18.
You're digging around trying to help your companions, and you do go, oh, wait. Some of this is starting to sound familiar. Why do I know this? And you realize that maybe you need that Shadowfell book.
Hmm.
I think it's in the bag.
I think it's in the bag.
I think it's in the
I
bag.
don't remember who had it.
It's Ulrun.
Let me check the bag.
It's probably a win, yeah.
I think Ulrun has it in the bag when I'm not.
I think Ulrun has most of the books.
The Shadow
because,
Book of
Yeah.
Nations.
That'd be the one.
Because I can't carry books so much because strength.
Or the several
I-
other blank books that are in here.
I can carry like I
No,
think
it's-
one book at a
it's-
The
time.
Book of Lore.
The Book of Lore is the contract, like about contracts and demons and stuff. Devils,
Yeah.
fiends.
Right.
Are you gonna go retrieve it?
Neuraxis, Hazel, I'm just gonna go get a book from Ulrun.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Oh.
And I run to Ulrun's
Okay.
room and quietly knock on the door and see if he's awake.
There's a Thordak plushie in here as well.
I won that at the fair.
Yeah, and candy.
Of course.
I don't know.
What?
Are you awake?
What?
Are
Yes.
you awake? Okay.
I'm probably on my way to talk to Drake if he's awake.
Okay. So you hear.
So she'll probably pass me somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I'm out and about. I'm
You're
not in my
out
room.
Okay. Yeah, you guys do kind of run into each other enough. Ulrin looks like he's on a mission.
From God.
Has it been 3 days and you're risen now?
Literally on a
Wow. Wow.
clerics. God,
Sorry.
just clerics.
You know. Anyway.
Ulrin, just the guy I was looking for. Can I get some books from the bag?
Yeah, sure. No problem. And I'll just hand her the bag.
Okay.
And I'm just looking for. I'm
Just like
taking up
that.
both the lore book and the Shadowfell book, and just like trying to carry them while I walk back. So
Okay.
thank you so
All right.
much. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
no problem.
I think when you get back, Noraxis, she was in his room the other day. I'm not saying it. They're adults, but I just thought you should know.
Well,
Last
they're,
time-
they're friends, so what's wrong with that? I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
know
mean-
that they're both adults. I didn't assume. It's like, just because they're small, a lot of people always assume that we are children. But, like, we are actually adults, so, like, good on you for noticing. I still don't really understand what that has to do with Warren for. I don't think people really think that he's a child that much. I mean, I think it's because of the beard. That's why
No.
dwarves don't have that problem.
He knocked on the door. You know what? It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not
Oh,
important.
is this like a thing like in the book?
No,
Oh, God.
No.
I
I
get
mean-
ya. And when Elijah comes
No.
back, I like wink at her.
Oh God.
Oh.
Elijah has 2 books in front of her and just like focusing on going towards the Raxus with the books. So, like,
Yeah, she probably doesn't see it.
she doesn't see the wink at all.
But I know.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you know. Wow.
Oh boy.
So, did you get the books you were after?
Yeah. Here's my book about the demons and conjures that I have. If you want to read it, I don't know if it's the same as one of these, but anyways. And here is the Shadowfell book that I need for some of my own things.
Why do you have a book about? Doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't.
I'm not. I'm just.
When your parents disappear at a young age, you develop conspiracy theories when there is literally no evidence to where they've gone.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the many theories that I had. Yes.
Okay.
Just like,
Right. It's flicking. Look.
Warren is really nice, Elijah, don't you think?
what?
Oh no.
Warren is really nice, don't you think, Elijah?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't. He's probably. I don't really care. Probably. He's nice, I think.
I agree. Yay, books! And I run.
Oh god. And y'all made fun of me because I made things awkward. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Alright. Oh, okay. Anyways.
This is why we don't jump to
hey,
conclusions.
Yeah, books. Alright, so Noraxis, Elijah's book and the one that you found, when you're kind of looking at them, I mean, the information is pretty base. Goes into a little bit about the laws of the 9 hells and how people get roped into contracts. It's actually, from the anonymous author's perspective, fairly easy to do, because if someone, in his opinion or their opinion, whoever it might be, that wrote this, that when someone offers you something that sounds like it's too good to be true, probably is. He doesn't seem to think too highly of people who take these contracts.
I was dying, motherfucker. You just hear in the middle of it like, what the...
Elijah's book, the information on demon and devil contracts, again, used interchangeably, and you're not really sure why, if they're just trying to be general, that contracts are very...
Race.
Oh, boy. The contracts are very difficult to get out of, which you are aware of, and that if you want your best bet to try to break the contract, it's to go to the person or entity you made it with. Like, direct approach is best approach. It does detail a couple of things in there about how you could do that. You could teleport directly. It says underneath that note, not recommended. You could try to hire someone to help you scry to them, which is a very specialized skill that only certain warlocks and sorcerers have, but it's expensive. Or you can just, and it's, you feel like this book is shading you just a little bit, or that you can just say their name over and over and over again until they finally get tired and annoyed and then just come to you.
I don't like the sound of the last one. First one sounds bad, the last one sounds bad. Okay, that's a problem for another day. That's a problem for another day. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. This has been a very stressful few days.
Just a little bit.
Anybody else doing anything? Looking for anything?
No, I'm just resting.
Talk to Drake.
Talk to Drake. Okay.
Dr. Drake.
Drake. Yeah, you
Or to
do a
Dirk.
little wandering. Couple of people you stop, go, oh yeah, I think I saw him, here. You go look in that room. He's not there. You finally get pointed to the armory, which is at the very bottom level of the tower. And there you do find Drake completely going to town with his axe on this dummy.
Okay.
Training, he's sweating, his beard's all matted, his hair's shoved out of his eyes, and he is just goes up, kicks the thing. That is a very red-faced dwarf right now.
I'll wait till there seems to be like a break in his little training regiment.
Okay. So you wait for a commercial break in the training montage.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Wait till the end of the montage.
All right, so there's several more heavy hits, and then eventually he doesn't land a couple not good ones. He's trying to do a fancy maneuver, and you're like, ooh, no, maybe not. Don't do that. And then he lands a really good hit, and actually the head of the dummy flies off and hits the other wall. Yeah, that's right. Take it. And he steps back and turns around and sees you. Right. Just gonna go get that. He goes over and picks up the dummy head, brings it back, kind of plops it on top of the dummy again. A little crooked, but...
Yeah.
Something I can do for you.
Hi, Master Drake. I was wondering about what I talked about last time we'd met. If you'd heard anything from Kraghammer, or if you know how everybody's doing, or any news coming out to Kraghammer.
I mean, Kraghammer's Kraghammer in a lot of ways, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Aye.
They like their homes the way they are. They like their businesses the way they are. Couple of let's say a rise in some Duragar coming out of some of the deep dark holes wherever they go off to, but that's not unusual. You squash them and the carvers go back to what they do. Is there something you want to ask me specifically here?
Well, I don't believe you've heard about my, I guess, my mishap with the Iron Speaker, or during the trial a while ago, the reason why I'm, exiled. I was wondering if the gnome woman who was sent into the burning mines had returned or not.
She got sent into the mushroom fields.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, where we tend to send everybody who wrongs the higher ups of Craghammer. First of all, a bit of advice. Just, unless you have to go there, stay out of Craghammer. Don't.
I'm trying not to go.
I stay out of there as much as possible. I only go back when diplomacy forces me to. What I don't know specifically. What I do know is that if anybody comes out of the mushroom fields, if they survive, they're punted straight to the surface. They're sent directly out. They're exiled. They're sent directly. It doesn't matter whether they did good down there or not, for Craghammer's sake. Craghammer doesn't care, right? They've already sentenced you, so to speak. And actually have. They kick you out to the surface. Most people, the few who have survived over the years, usually wind up living in hovels. Some places like Kymel. Or some little villages along the way. If I were you, I'd start talking to every town crier and every nosy merchant you can find who travels and start asking.
All right.
I'm sorry, I don't have more for you.
That's all right. It's better to have hope than just, accept the fact that she may be gone forever. So
Let me put it this way. And he comes over and he puts a hand on your shoulder. He's done this before to you. And he says, if they're stubborn enough to come out of the fields, they'll be okay on the surface. She might not, if she's around, she might not be in the best living situations. Or maybe she's found friends, you never know. But as someone who's survived the fields themselves, not because of punishment, but because I saw a reason to go down there, makes you pretty stubborn. We're hard to kill. You want to come train?
Sure. I could do with some letting off some steam.
Sounds good. You take those 4 dummies over there. These are mine. And then if you really feel like it, I can put you through your paces.
All right. You can try.
So you guys start fighting with these dummies, and then eventually he gets a little tired of hitting on dummies, and he's like, all right. No weapons, just fists. Let's go.
All right.
I need you to roll a d20 twice. Straight rolls.
18 and 17.
Okay. He rolled a 16 and a 2.
Woo!
You leave him with a black eye, a big smile, and he steps back after you guys have brawled for a few minutes, and he's like, oh. I was always told, don't fight with a cleric of the Allhammer, because they'll make you feel guilty, and then once you feel guilty, they'll kick your ass. Safe to say you've done both. Kudos to that.
It's no problem.
And get your ass to bed.
I will. You too.
No, I'm still older than you. Go.
All right. And I'll take off and just kind of nod and walk away.
You do hear him go, huh! All right, dummy, you're mine. And then you hear the sound of pummeling once again. All right. Anything else before you guys wake up?
I'm guessing Alicia, before she falls asleep, just sends a message to Flux to thank them for their help, and that just to tell Flux that, like, they've found something new information and that she might have to ask them for some help soon.
Okay.
We
You
have a
send
scroll.
it off, and in a few minutes you get a message back saying how happy they are to hear from you. They're glad you're okay. Hopefully you didn't eat too much at the festival because they sure as heck did. And to just keep them in the loop, and they'll help as much as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to, when we're done in the library and when we walk back to our rooms, I want to just ask Narexis and Delisha to just stay with me for a moment, and I wanted to try to with them there turn into a tiger and then try turning back again. I want to make sure that it works this time with people around.
Hazel, you
Oh no.
reach for that. I was just trying to think of a way to phrase it. Sometimes my words fail me. You reach for that power that you know sits deep within your being, and there she is, Tiger Hazel.
And I try to turn back again into a halfling.
Wait a moment. It takes some effort. And then you pop back into halfling form.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Everything's good. Alright. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Nighty night. And I walk to my room.
You
Shaking a bit.
guys sleep. You wake up. Daylight. No weird dreams. No weird visions. No weird voices. Just in very nice bedrooms on the following morning.
Yay.
Yay.
Sleep is good.
Sleep is amazing.
Your path is yours. What would you like to do?
Breakfast, shade wash, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That order.
Sounds about right.
Find Laura and Drake and get them to teleport us in the...
Okay. Easy enough to do because Alora is already... She seems to be lingering over breakfast. And you catch her mid-sip of tea. And she waves you all in and you guys can eat. As far as getting to where you want to go, she needs a destination.
Restaurant, maybe?
Where were we supposed to meet her? Was it...
Yeah.
I think she said to us we should ultimately first we should go to some of the smaller villages that were on the way there and case out what's the situation there. Check it out. I think that was what she said.
Yeah.
Or did she name it? And
That
then
had
she would
been
also do that.
her recommendation. She was going to go ahead and try to figure out why they're spreading out beyond Jorenn, because that is not something the Shade Watch has done before. Why they are hunting in the Bramblewood. Exactly try to... And with that patch that Olren gave her, she was going to try to go undercover and see if she could glean more information. There's Jorenn. There are a handful of... You can't even call them villages. Basically just small outposts with a couple of homes, a few farmsteads. Alora has traveled in that area before. She could get you to some nearby farms. But when you start getting out into... Teleportation is an exact thing. When you start getting out into areas that you guys have never been to, it might be a little more tricky.
Yeah.
So, because she will say that Western, to get to Jorenn from Western, you're looking at a week.
Yeah. No.
We want closer than
If
that.
you want closer, there are a handful of some farmsteads that have been gathered together into small villages. that she's traveled through before. She could kind of get you in that area, but you might
Well,
still
we
have to
need-
do some walking.
We
Maybe
need to be
also-
basically a day away at most.
I mean, yeah, some walking we can do,
Yeah.
as long as we're
And I
within
get-
a day.
Sure.
Like a day away from Jorenn Village, basically.
So somewhere in the Black Valley.
Yeah, there's a couple of small villages, about a day, maybe slightly less than, depending on how hard you push yourselves. There is a path, and you see that there is actually the Black Valley path through here, and there is a village that sits right off the path, maybe an 8-hour walk to Jorenn.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
She's more than happy to do that whenever you guys are ready, but it's completely up to you.
Eat and then roll ready?
Everything in the bag.
Kick those guys' asses. I really don't like them.
Yeah.
I could do with keeping my hand in the shoulder with the massive axe.
You guys look like you're itching for a fight. I have a feeling you're gonna find it. Just be careful.
Sure.
Always.
No,
Yeah,
if you're
when are we ever not careful?
I know, right? It's like she's judging us, face.
if you're ready, just form a circle and you'll be there. She closes her eyes and focuses, and in a flash, faster than you can even interpret, you are sent spinning off into another part of Taldore altogether, and you land actually on a hill
Ooh.
in the
That's good.
daytime. It's a high enough hill that you can kind of see around you. You see a couple of farmsteads off in the distance. The sun is bright. It smells like grass and maybe a hint of like some wildflowers nearby. Really quite pretty. And as you turn and you look out along the horizon, you see smoke.
That's never a good sign.
And not
Nope.
chimney smoke.
Oh, do we know where, like, what's in that direction where the smoke is?
Do you want to start kind of crusting the hill and to get a better
Yeah.
view? Okay.
Yep.
I guess.
As you come up over the hill and you stand on top of it, you see what is left of a village on fire.
Lime.
God damn it.
Why?
And there are, even from this distance, there are bodies everywhere.
No.
Does it look like the attack's only been recently, or is it like already burning out?
Like, do we know what village this is? Is
All
it like
of
an
you
unnamed
make
small village?
Perception checks for me.
Okay.
Ugh. No.
Worship.
17.
10.
And
Again with the offer rolls. This is not my day.
Okay. I think I'm waiting on. Okay.
13.
Neuraxis, you're very familiar with fire and destruction. This looks like this is hours old. Some of the buildings are still starting to crumble. You see a piece of a roof cave in, and there's like this explosion of ash and smoke and soot, and you're starting to smell that fire and you can taste that ash. And from your vantage point, Neuraxis, there's got to be maybe 50 or 60 bodies on the ground.
Holy shit.
And with that perception, you do very, very distantly hear the clash of metal. like weapon striking weapon.
Oh, so they're still fighting. Okay, good to know.
Grab your things, follow me now. And just storms off.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll
and
just
by
grab
the
my-
way,
Go.
I would have put my actual armor on before porting away into the wild.
Sure, of course.
know?
I assume you guys probably weren't going to head
Yeah.
into the hornet's nest.
Yeah,
So to speak, without.
I'm saying it because this whole time, Volker has been wearing like his stage outfit or regular
That's right,
clothes.
that's
Now
right.
he's an athlete.
Okay. You guys see this armored dwarf like
Yeah.
gear up.
Still
and
with his
ready to
sash, still no
fucking
weapon
go.
visible.
Yep. He's ready to go. He's ready for a fight.
Yeah.
Get those bastards.
You're going down the hill.
Towards the sound.
Okay. Are you
Like
running?
axe appears. Just
I'm gonna do exactly what was suggested we don't do.
Okay, go straight in.
At first.
Straight
Into
in.
the literal fire. Yeah.
It's like
Eliza's running as fast as her tiny legs can carry her.
Oh.
Thank
Which
you.
is not fast.
like
Yeah, which is probably not that fast, right?
I
Trying
think a
to
lot of
keep
us
up
if I
are
think you're
not
falling
fast.
behind, you're just getting like grabbed with the free hand and just scooped. It's like no one else dies in fire on my goddamn watch. And he's just going.
Okay. You get down into it's about a 5-minute. If you're running, you can get to the village, what's left of it, and it's decimated. There are bodies everywhere. Women, men, children slaughtered.
Damn it, not again. It's just a waste. This is just stupid waste.
You now hear sounds of a very clear battle around. It looks like maybe on the back side of the village. There's not much village here. It was small anyways. And what is left, you do catch the glimpse of some like fire and sunlight off of somebody's rather large weapon.
I'm looking for a target.
Okay. As you guys look around and you run
Yeah.
through, my perception people, Hazel, you catch the scent of people. Very scared.
In the direction where we're going, or
Yes.
like somewhere in
In the direction you're going. It's that scent of fear it's very specific.
Okay. I like start running as fast as I can, and I yell to everyone that there are people there that we might still be able to save. So like, let's get there as fast as we can.
Okay.
Oh, as soon as you tell me there are people, it's just just yelling a challenge. Whoever did this, I'm dead. If I find you, you are dead. He's just like screaming at the top of his lungs and just running towards the sound.
Whenever she hears people are in danger, she casts Expedition Retreat and has double speed.
Oh shit, okay.
Holy shit. Okay.
I have double speed with like dash.
When it sounds
Like,
like
I
we're close to the sound of like the fighting, like when I hear and smell it, I also want to turn into a tiger.
Okay. You guys have to finding a path through or around is difficult because everything is on fire. So you're going to have to maneuver a little bit. You do manage to, let me see. You do manage to make your way, yes, around what looked like a small tavern of some kind. You still see the remnant of a sign swinging, but it's off on one chain, dangling. The edges of it blackened from the ash and the soot. And you do now distinctly hear fighting, and also it sounds like a man yelling in pain and fear. And when you run up, you round the corner and you run across this. So the path going out of the village, I'm going to allow you to position yourselves, but what you're seeing is pretty intense right now. There are trees on fire. you see a large man in armor, in bright gold and silver armor, fighting with a woman in furs and leathers. You see an armored woman, helmet off, on the ground, charging this archer here. And you see two men, a gnome, an older gnome, and a younger gnome, tied up and being drugged.
I want to
How
immediately start.
Music is loud again. I'm loving it
I
though.
have to like
Yeah, this is
fix it.
like
I know. It's always weird
How-
every time.
How far
Yep.
can we position
There we go.
ourselves?
You
We've,
have about, I'm gonna say you have half your movement
No,
to
okay.
position yourselves before we roll initiative.
Even with the expedition retreat, do I get my full
So you would
movement,
have your
or
full movement, right?
that's not a lot? But
Okay.
Am I a tiger yet? Or
Round
You
Should I
are.
do
Yeah,
that?
I'll
Round
switch you out,
down.
Hazel.
okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely switch you out.
Round up or down?
I don't know if it matters, but yeah, they're like shouting,
Round down.
Oh.
the shouting and the "I'm gonna kill whoever did this" was like an attempt at intimidation, whether it worked or
Yeah, go ahead and roll an intimidation check.
it's like this
Hazel,
is
let
just
me get your tiger out here. There we go.
13.
Yep. 13.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. Sorry, I'm trying to get Hazel on here.
So,
There we go.
That's okay.
There you go.
Jesus, you're all fast.
All right. Let me check that real quick. You do see the archer, Neuraxis, look straight at you and kind of frown, but she's focused on targeting this armored woman here. I need you
I
to
also-
roll initiative.
I also wanted to check, like, immediately if I see the sign of the Shade Watch on any of them, like on their
Yeah.
armor.
You do. This woman here, this archer, and these two people, the dragonborn and the human woman, all wearing Shade Watch.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So they're the targets.
So
So the good guys are the gnome and the knights.
You're not sure, but they seem to
yeah,
be
well-
fighting the Shade Watch.
Yeah, that counts as good guys. We'll sort them out after we kill the Shade Watch.
There you go.
I'll just attack
where's my
whoever's
initiative?
attacking.
There it
since I'm
is.
probably going last.
Oh shit! A good
Nice,
roll
very
finally.
nice. Okay.
I can't see myself in the turn order.
Oh no, where'd you go? Here.
Where am I?
I manually added you in. You should be there now.
Yeah.
I'm also not in there.
There.
You can just click your token and then roll your
Yeah.
initiative. Or enter.
I rolled
Oh, you rolled.
dice.
Never
Bam.
my
I
purple
rolled.
dice.
There are a lot of combatants on the field right now. So let me get all their initiatives in. And she is 18. Ah, there we go. Okay.
I'm still not in there.
What the heck?
I don't think so, right?
There you go.
No.
Check the bottom.
Oh, there I am. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, so to lay out the field, just so you're certain, there is a red dragonborn and a human, looks like human woman, dragging two tied up gnomes down the cobblestone streets, just furiously pulling them. This tree is clearly on fire. This
Yeah.
bush here has a fire started, and this tree is starting to look like it's going to lean. Like it could topple at some point along the way. There's an evident danger here. All right, so actually, first up in the initiative, Hazel, what are you doing?
Okay. Okay. I'm going to first. Let's see what I need. Okay. I'm going to move. Okay. going to move over here.
Okay.
Then I'm going to take my and cast my brand new Rite of the Frozen on it, so it's now all icy.
Oh, all right.
And then I want to shoot 2 arrows at okay, so the Dragonborn and the blonde lady are dragging the gnomes, and they are Shade Watch people. Okay.
Yes.
Then I'll shoot okay, I'll shoot 2 arrows at the woman.
Okay.
At
Go
her.
ahead. Make your attacks.
12.
No, that's a miss.
14.
That is also a miss.
God.
You try to take 2 crossbow shots at this woman who is dragging this younger gnome. He's got dark hair. That's about all you can see from this distance. And he's fighting. They both are struggling against their bonds. But it's also where you now know that's the source of the fear you smelled earlier.
Yeah.
And she sees you and just ducks and then kind of points at you and keeps dragging him along.
I like roar after them, and sadly that's all I can do for my turn.
Okay.
Damn it!
Okay. So next is Volkar.
Yeah, I am looking at my options there. So this one you said was wearing what kind of armor again?
It's fur and leather, but clearly with
Oh.
the Shade Watch insignia on the shoulder.
Right, and what kind of weapon do they...
She has... Hold down. She actually has a... she has a lance that she is currently wailing on this man in the silver and gold armor with. You do see an arc of magic coming off the lance as she tries to stab at him.
Oh, okay. So magic lens, possibly. Huh. Well, I'm moving, that's one thing for
Okay.
sure. Do I want to do that? I'm not sure. Not that. Not. That's, too freaking far. Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna cast a dissonant whisper at this one person.
Okay. What's the save on that?
That would be. Let's see. That would be a wisdom save. I'm gonna cast it at level 2.
Okay.
So that's gonna be 4d6.
Oof. All right. Wisdom save.
And wisdom save
Oof.
is gonna be DC 15.
She rolled a 10. So
Oh
no.
yes. So I'm just playing on my sass and whispering some crazy nonsense in Dwarvish.
Okay.
4d6 of psychic damage. That's not too bad.
Okay. 12.
12 psychic damage, and because she failed her save,
Yep.
she's gonna have to use the reaction to move away from me.
Oh,
And
interesting.
probably give this gentleman an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. So you see her stop mid-swing and shake her
possibly-
head. And kind of, she's clutching her skull at this point, and she has to use all of her movement?
Yep.
All of
Move
her
her
movement.
speed away from me.
All right.
I don't think she doesn't have to go right next to this one, but
No, but
Yeah.
she is gonna move. He is gonna get a swing at her.
yeah, the one she wasn't melee with definitely does.
Yeah, because he's got a rather large halberd.
Ooh.
And he's gonna try to hit. No, that's no. That was a 3.
No.
No.
Oh,
It just
that's a
he's
shame.
startled by what is happening, and maybe not so much startled, but he turns around and sees you, and nods. And you do notice that he's human, but his eyes are glowing orange,
Okay. That's nice.
and that's about the only look you get at him as all of this starts to really get chaotic. Is that the end of your turn?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm
Okay.
gonna use my my bonus action to give inspiration to Hazel. I'm thinking.
Wow.
Were you doing the lightning stuff, Hazel?
I was doing icy stuff this time.
Icy stuff. Okay. Huh. Icy stuff. I don't have any inspiration for icy stuff.
How can you not? It's a
Oh,
season
well.
song.
Sorry.
I'm not gonna sing the freaking Frozen song. Okay, I'm just gonna go
Oh, no.
like Hazel, Hazel cat. Oh!
Yeah! And I like roar in reply.
And is that a
I was gonna go
D8?
with Thundercat, but Hazel
There
cat
you
works,
go.
I guess.
Is that a D8 that she gets?
Is that D6 or
I
D8
can't
already?
remember. Yeah. I feel
I
like
think
it's
we're high enough
D8.
level. Yeah.
Maybe. Where is it?
Oh god, what level are we?
Well, while you look,
Yeah.
the archer is next in the line, and she now has a couple of targets. Yep, she's still going to go after this lady in the very bright silver and red armor over here,
Right.
plate armor. And she is going to, she pulls back on her, yep. Oh, good grief. She pulls back on her heavy crossbow that she has and is going to make 2 attacks. Yeah, that'll hit. And, dice down. I always do that. And that one misses.
Does the lady look like heavily injured already?
The person she's aiming at?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, good.
She's got a gash of blood on her cheek, but seems to be completely whole, and she's pissed.
Okay, good.
So one of these hits lands. Let me go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage. That is... Okay. So... And then... Ugh. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, alright. Right in the perfect spot, and she winces and pulls the bolt out just as the second one misses her. And that is all that person can do. All right. Wasn't a big hit. And then this woman who had to run away from Volkar. Is that just a temporary thing, or she's not frightened of you, right?
No, it's just one timer. She
Okay.
used her reaction to do it, and that's it.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Because she is pretty bent on going after this guy. So she's going to do that again. Move back up and square off with this guy. And try to make a lance attack on him. And while she's doing that, Hazel, I need you to make a dexterity save.
Okay.
Ugh.
15.
That just fails.
Okay, can I then add my inspiration to it?
Yes.
Okay, +6.
Okay.
So 20.
So you manage to, as this woman lands a hit on this guy in armor, you do see lightning arc off of her lance and into him. He took a nasty hit.
Damn.
Yeah, ugh, that was bad. And then off of her being, off of her very frame, you see her armor kind of glow blue for a second, and this wave of energy rushes out towards you, but you manage to dig your claws into the ground and keep from being knocked prone. And he also made his save. So you don't take any damage, but there was something that just happened there.
Okay.
All right, that was her turn. The red dragonborn is now going to go. And he is going to just keep dragging this guy off, but he's moving at half speed. So he's going to drag him that way and yell to the woman with him, "Stop them!" That is his turn. Neuraxis, what would you like to do?
Okay, so 30 feet. Get me there. Then far away are they? So 85, yes. In that case, I will hex the red dragonborn.
Okay. Hexing his...
He's trying to drag someone away, so I guess strength
Okay.
probably slow him down. Yeah, oh, good. Thanks, Hex. And then...
Wink.
well, he's definitely, if he's within 90 feet, he's... Eldritch Blast, which, at 5th level, I fire 2 separate bolts at him.
Oh, shit! Okay.
Oh, nice.
All right.
So... does a 26 hit?
Just
That's a
slightly.
natural 20.
Yeah, just slightly. Okay.
So,
That's a natural 20, Neuraxis.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
Hurt.
8 plus 5 plus 1 hex, so 14.
Okay.
And then the other Eldritch Blast, 25, I assume, hits again.
Just slightly, yeah.
6 plus hex again. Plus 1 again, wonderful. So,
Okay.
what?
So 7 total?
Yeah, so
Okay.
13, 14, so 21 overall.
Yeah. Okay. You guys watch Neuraxis just shoot not 1, but 2 lines of this eldritch energy that he channels. And it hits the Dragonborn. Poo poo! And he actually is going to have to save to try to not drop the bonds that he's using to drag this guy with. And no. Is forced to drop the heavy rope that he's using to pull this guy down the road across the broken cobblestones. And it looks like I don't know if the guy's going to be able to get free or not, you're not sure, but he has right now dropped the rope.
Yeah, I'm just shouting at him in Draconic coward.
He doesn't
That's
respond. He's too focused
move
on like
action,
trying to
bonus action.
straighten up and trying to pull, trying to grasp for the rope again.
Yeah, that's turn.
Okay, Elysia.
I'm gonna use my movement and my bonus action to run over here.
Okay.
And then let's do some fun. Since I saw Neuraxis have the other guy, I'm gonna mind spike the other woman
shit.
dragging the person.
All right.
Ooh.
I haven't used that one yet, so that'll be fun.
No, you have not.
That is a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Yes, do it.
14. Nope.
My DC is 15.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
no.
Oh.
I don't have enough d8s.
Yeah, this is nasty. This is a great spell.
Sucks.
All right.
But I do know the location of the target, so if she manages to escape, we can follow.
Okay.
And she can't become hidden from me, and if she becomes visible, she gains no benefits from me. I can still see her or know where she is.
Okay, good to know.
And I regain a spell slot because it's a divination spell.
Nice. Very nice.
Because of my thing.
Okay.
Wizard thing.
You do see her kind of, with one hand, put it against her forehead, but she's got tight a hold of it. Wasn't enough damage to make her drop that rope.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely did some damage to her. But she is focusing on dragging this guy. Movement, turn.
Movement, turn, bonus action.
Okay. All right. And then this armored woman sees you, Elysia, and kind of, you'd best stay out of the way. This is not for civilians. And is going to charge this archer. It is now that you're close, you can see that it is a humanoid woman. But she has nubs on the top of her head that look like filed down horns.
She's going all Hellboy in this.
And she is going to do so many spells. She is going to cast. No, she's not. She's just gonna. She has a flail, a 3-pronged flail that she's gonna bring down on this archer's head, on this crossbowman's head, and make her attack there. That is that's gonna hit. That's a 22. Where did my pen go? I don't know what I did with it. There it is. So. Yep. Okay. Math. She brings this flail down with a crack, and you actually hear. It sounds weirdly like thunder coming off of it as it lands squarely on this archer's head, doing additional damage. Yep. Okay. And she squares up for another attack. You see the archer stagger under the force, the concussive force of this blow, but manages to stay on her feet. That is her turn. The woman up here is gritting her teeth. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. I need... Focused on Neuraxis. I need Volcar, Hazel, Neuraxis, and actually these two people as well. All to make dex saves.
Lame. That's when I wish I had counterspell.
Yeah.
I have it, but I didn't think that I should use it.
12.
False
Not
loss.
enough.
Just a 7. Ugh.
Oh, I know
rolling
what
so
this is going to
shitty.
be because I can do it now.
You know exactly what this is, Neuraxis. It's a fireball.
Yeah.
She reaches her hand out, and you see fiery
Okay.
energy form in her palm, and it hits. I think all of you failed.
I got a 16.
Volcar, that's
It's
the
like a-
DC you saved.
Oh,
Like a 20
nice.
foot.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
All right.
So that triggers my encore. So my next skill check, save, or attack roll will have advantage. Hooray.
Nice.
I think Orin's okay. I forget
Yeah,
how big a
Ulrin's
fireball is.
okay.
And who's doing that nasty thing again?
This
This
woman
one?
right here.
Yeah. Okay.
That is, those of you who took full damage, that is 30 points of fire damage.
Fuck.
Ow.
Half on a save.
Alright. That's still a
Okay.
lot.
Sweet. So I've got to be
Ouch.
Ouch.
okay.
It did catch one of her allies as well.
Remind me to
Okay.
counterspell that next time.
And she is going to drag this guy off to the very edge of the map. She's almost out of reach for a lot of you.
So Hex is gone.
Yep. Hex is gone. Yeah, because there's no save for that one. There's no way you're making that.
No.
Okay. Alright, that's her turn. She's too busy dragging him off. This guy here, who really took... Oh, he took the full damage as well. Not very dexterous when you're in heavy armor. Is going to... Oh boy. He's going to look at the three of you who just took that hit. Hazel, Neuraxis, and Volkar. Whew. And he is going to reach his hand out, close his eyes for just a moment, and you suddenly feel a wave of healing energy come over you.
Yay.
You pick up 5 hit points each,
Sure.
Yay.
and your maximum increases by 5. Temporary.
Okay.
It lasts for 8 hours. So for 8 hours, your HP is up by 5. And then he is going to... Yep, he's going to make a halberd attack
That
against
our
this woman.
maximum goes up by 5?
Yes, for 8 hours.
Temporarily, yeah.
Yep.
So we're
but you
not getting
also-
5 temporary, we're getting...
Right, you were healed
maximum
for
plus
5,
5.
and then
Okay.
your max goes up by 5, right.
Cool.
So he only has it in him to make 1 attack against this woman. And he's going to thrust out again with that halberd. No, you know what? Yeah, he's going to do that instead. You guys watch this man rear back. Yeah, that's going to hit. Holy shit. And hit this woman with his weapon. And he opens his mouth, and radiant energy comes pouring out of him.
Oh, SMR thingy.
Yeah, she's going to take some damage on that.
ASMR Dragon Breath.
Yeah, that thing.
She took a fair bit of damage. And you watch it scorch her. She actually screams and reels back. It does also stagger her back. Yeah, she took... Ugh. Alright. He's bleeding and doesn't even seem to notice. He doesn't even seem to care. But that's all he's got in him. Ulrin.
Yay!
Sorry!
That's alright.
You just watched chaos happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like,
All the pain.
I'm gonna run up to here. And then I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt
Okay.
at
But-
the
Who are you
at
aiming
the lady who just fireballed people.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Save?
Does a
Or it's
22
a
hit?
ranged- Yeah. Yeah, that definitely
I
hits.
should
That's
hope
a
so.
ranged, yeah. Just slightly.
Damn.
Yes. She takes 18 radiant damage,
Woof. Alright.
and the next attack on her has advantage
Nice. Yeah,
because she's glowy.
glowing. Yeah, yep. Oren's guiding bolt hits her square in the chest. I actually need to see if she can hold on to that rope. Yeah, she
Yes.
manages to hold on to it, but just barely.
Boo.
But she's now pretty wounded.
Wipe them out, all of them.
And then bonus action, I will cast Spiritual Weapon
Okay.
and have the hammer of the all hammer
Uh-huh.
up here.
Where is it going? Sorry.
Out here.
Okay.
As far as I can get it, so because I'm gonna try and have it hunt down those two.
All right, let me go ahead and just put this in your
Since
control.
I have short, stubby legs.
Oh.
All right. All right. So that is now under your control there.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it? Right?
Yeah, I can't
Okay.
move it this round. Next
Okay.
round, I can't.
At the top of the round.
That's me.
Okay. Sorry, I was making sure I hadn't missed anything. No, we're good. Sorry, there's a lot going on here.
Yep.
Okay, Hazel, what are you doing?
Well, first I'm going to make my bloodlust saving throw, which I have to succeed on with an 18 because of the damage. If I fail, I'll either attack Neuraxis or the dude.
Oh god.
Oh.
Come on.
Just like, Elijah, you don't have any like good future rolls or something?
I have 10 and 10. I don't think 10 will help you.
No,
Well,
that's not enough.
I rolled double 10s. That was...
Yeah.
Wait, what is it?
And you already used inspiration, right?
Oh my god!
Holy.
I would have been so pissed if I like now started attacking Neuraxis or
Oh
something.
my god.
You
I
just.
just made it by one.
We're safe for now.
Okay. Okay.
Get away from all the important people. Just.
Yes.
Go
Yeah.
be
Well, I'll
a
take it.
dangerous
I
dervish
just have
somewhere
to
else.
take a look. Yes. Okay, I definitely move right next to this bitch. So
Okay.
like, you're in my range now. Okay, I'm going.
Kill it.
Alright, she's hurting for sure.
Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna unleash my fury. Like, I'll have faith that the others will do something to stop the dragging jerks. Okay, here goes. Predatory strike. That should hit 23.
Yes.
All right. So first claw attack, that 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Second is an 18.
That'll hit.
7 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Yeah. And third, oh nice, that should also hit this 24.
Yep.
And that's just 7 points of slashing damage.
Okay. Hazel just tears into this woman, raking claws down where there are gaps between the leather and the fur that she's wearing. You didn't do as much damage as you had hoped, but you definitely bloodied her. And she's already singed and bloody. Now that you're close enough to her, you definitely see that she's kind of foaming at the mouth a little bit. Her eyes are dark. And you have her attention.
Okay. No, because they're out of reach.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was my turn.
End of your turn? Okay. Volkar.
Alrighty then. I'm gonna move first.
Okay.
20, 25. And because I'm still way too far, I'm gonna use my Battaglia thing and teleport without
Nice.
knocking anyone down, because my goal is to move forward, not to actually knock people down.
Okay.
What is that thing?
That's Ulrin's hammer.
That's my hammer. I just made it like glowy so I could actually see it because it blended in with
Oh,
the
it
stuff.
does. Yeah, sorry about
Yeah, no, that's
It
fine.
looks kind of weird. Whatever. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. So, yeah, Alicia is just out, so she won't have to make a save or anything. That was a bonus action. And with my action, I'm going to cast a spell. And it has a range of 60, so let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna cast it like just out 1 square outside the map, so
Okay.
that those two assholes are both within the 10 feet radius of it, but not the gnomes.
Okay. And what are you?
I am
dispelling?
just going to, you know, those heavy metal singers when they do that high-pitched scream?
Yeah.
I do that
Okay.
while playing a solo, like with the ang banging and everything, and I cast Shatter at 3rd level.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh.
Like screw your ears,
Okay.
bitches.
God, yeah.
What is the save on that?
Shatter, so loud ringing noise, obviously. Okay. Con save,
Con save.
DC 15 still.
Wait a second.
And I don't think they're made of inorganic material.
No. The Dragonborn does not make it. The woman does.
Okay.
So what's the
So
damage?
because I cast it at level 3, it's gonna be 48
Oh God.
Blow
Nice.
them up.
of
Blow them
thunder
up.
damage.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So 17 and half saved, obviously.
Okay. So yep. Okay. Oh my God. Alright. Ouch.
And that's my turn.
Okay, you guys watch Volcar do this crazy bard thing, but like no bard you've ever seen before, and bring his arm or his hand down on his instrument, and you watch the Dragonborn drop to the ground to one knee. He is on last legs. The woman is okay, but she actually I need to see if she drops that rope. Drops the rope.
Are her ears bleeding at all?
Yeah, the Dragonborn definitely has blood coming out of where his ears would be. Yeah, he's and on a red Dragonborn, you can even see it from here. Yeah, he's heavily wounded at this point. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. The crossbow woman is going to. Is going to use her action to disengage and go as far. She's moving a little faster than you expect her to. And then is going to, it looks like she's headed in the direction of her companions. But that's her turn. Alright, and then next is the one you guys have all been wailing on. And she and is going to make a reckless attack on Hazel.
Oh no.
This time I will not forget that, like,
Cocked.
non-magic
Resist. Yeah.
Yes.
That is, yeah, that's a 19 to hit.
That's my armor class right now.
That
so
is
yeah.
your AC. Okay. And she lashes out at you with this lance that she has. That is 15 points of piercing damage and 3 points of lightning damage. And
Okay,
then-
yeah, fuck it. I make her roll again. I'm going to use my blood of the eyelid
Oh
as
shit.
my reaction.
To re-roll it?
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh.
She rolled a 3.
Ha!
Um.
I make her eyes bleed.
I love it so much. You watch her. It looks like she's gonna connect with Hazel, and at the last second, Hazel's like, "No, bitch." And you watch her eyes, just like horror movie style, start to bleed. And she's shaking her head now and roaring in pain. God damn. All right. That's all she's got. The Dragonborn is in absolutely no fucking shape to do hella anything. Shit. And instead is going to... Oh boy. Yep, he's going to breathe fire on the two gnomes.
Bastard.
And they are tied up, so... Yeah, no, they're not making that save.
Ulrin, you're gonna have to save the no.
The one does! This one manages to roll out of the way. The older man does not. And you watch him just unhinge his jaw and breathe fire on these helpless civilians.
Oh no.
It's 11. Yeah, they're
Save the
both
gnomes, they
still
might have been family,
alive.
but-
They're both still alive, but just barely
Oh, thank God.
the older man. Just barely.
Are they tied up with rope?
Yes. So
Does
the
it
rope
hurt?
is already starting to fray.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
They will have a chance to. They'll have advantage on their next attempt to try to get
To
free.
break it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. We need to get the dress.
And that's all he can. He can't even really move very far. He is actually going to. He's pretty wounded. Nope, he is. He gets. There's not enough map here. He gets 15 feet in front of you guys. But he's staggering. He's running away at this point. Yeah. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to adjust the map just a little bit to give you guys where he winds up at. He's there. He's there. He gets this far out. And he's just on the edge of the map. But that's all he's going to do. Neuraxis.
Okay. So 30 feet will get me to here.
Mm-hmm.
And is he still within? Yes, he is. Right. So first things first. Second wind.
Okay.
For is that a D10 plus 1? Because ow. So yes. Yes.
Alright.
So I heal 11.
Okay.
And then 2 more Eldritch Blasts at the Red Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Giving us a goddamn bad name. Not having it.
There, I made the rest
There
of
we
the
go.
road.
Thank you.
No,
14.
it's on the token layer though.
He's dead!
That's not good.
Yay! We did it!
That's kind of-
We just
Excellent.
have to draw over our enemies.
A 14 misses.
Luckily, I have 2 of these now. Oh my god.
Wow. Whiff on both of them. That energy he's out of range, and not so much out of range as he's in an awkward position because he's kind of stumbling. You would almost think drunkenly if he wasn't so wounded. But he's stumbling across this cobblestone streets, and he manages to just kind of stagger out of the way both times. But he is still on his feet, barely.
So that's everything.
Okay.
That's action, bonus action, move.
Okay. Elysia?
Expedition Retreat is gone because
Right.
Mind Spike is a concentration spell. But let's drop a Shatter on top of the Red Dragonborn, which will
Okay.
also hit the human and none of the gnomes.
Okay.
So let me make sure. That is a con save
Con, yep.
for both of them.
The woman makes it, the dragonborn does not.
Nope, that's also 3d8. Let's hope I roll
Well-
a little better.
I think the enemy dragonborn is done.
I think the N-word. I'm just gonna make sure I'm actually right here. Yeah.
Kill his ass.
Yeah.
11 points of damage.
He goes down.
Yay!
Yes!
Alright. So he is dead. She at half is still up, but is starting to look pretty wounded at this point. You guys have cast if he were alive, he'd be deaf. There's just no way.
Oh, yeah.
With 2 shatter spells, there's no way. And she is even trying to unplug her ears, and she's shaking her head like a dog, just trying to focus on. But she is reaching down toward the rope to grab the younger gnome. All right. Anything else?
No one.
Nope.
I don't have anything else
Okay.
yet.
The woman in armor here is pretty pissed off at this point, and is going to just go after that crossbowman again. Yep, and she has the movement to do it, so she's going to square up and is going to... Yep, try to hit. She hits. You watch her bring this flail down, and off the end of it comes radiant energy. She's gonna divine smite her ass. Yep. Ooh. Ouch. And fucking drops her. Goddamn. Just fucking enough to drop her.
Oh.
And that radiant energy comes off of her, and you see the crossbowman just crumple to the ground.
Good, good.
Yep.
Really feel like we need one to interrogate, but you know what? One problem at a time.
Okay.
We can like take the lady with the bleeding
prisoner
eye,
can
but
answer all our questions, probably, so...
That's her turn, though. The sorcerer is still up. This is where I have to look at spells.
We could just let the sorcerer run and we can follow her.
Oh yeah, you've drilled a...
I can follow her for
I'm
an
not
hour.
letting someone run when they throw a fireball at her face.
True.
That's dangerous.
But I mean...
Next time, I'm gonna counterspell the fuck that she does.
Yes,
she's
please.
driven a psychic nail into her brain. It's pretty, like...
Unless counterspell concentration.
Sheesh.
Yeah, she's going to, move here. Nope, here. Nope, one more. Because those are better targets. Elysia and
Oh, that's
Volkar.
something, lightning bolt.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Deck saves for both of you, please.
Counterspell.
Well,
Shit.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah!
I can just try.
Combo
I have the
breaker.
spell slot. Let's just.
That's
Just
I'm
because I
I'm
can.
within the 6. I'm within 60 feet, so.
Yeah, you are. That's yep. Okay. She was casting at 4th level, so
Oh,
Then you need to roll.
yep.
yeah.
Or is it? No, I need to roll. I've never understood this.
You,
I need to roll, right?
You need to roll.
Yeah.
Counterspell is
Yeah.
3rd level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I need 10
13,
plus.
I think.
I need to roll over.
It's 14 because she was
Oh,
casting
14,
at
Yeah,
4.
yeah.
10 plus the
Plus
spell.
the
What do I
level.
add?
your...
Arcana, I think.
Yeah, it's
Ar-
the spellcasting.
Arcana or
ability.
No, it's not Arcana.
Arcana
It's
or spell
spellcasting.
That would be too easy.
It's spellcasting ability modifier.
Yeah, just that.
Yeah.
So just wisdom.
So just your wisdom modifier, yeah.
Then that doesn't exceed because that's only a 10 now.
Okay.
Spellcasting is
No, spell-
wisdom.
Intelligence?
Intelligence is just 4,
Yeah, for a
but
wizard, it's
I
going
rolled
to
a
be
6.
intelligence bonus.
6 plus
Okay.
4 is 10.
Oh, okay, so you
The
rolled
only
a
way
rolled a
to get
six.
better at this is if you're abjuration specialist.
I'm not.
Okay. She's
Yeah.
going to. So the counterspell fades. I do need to, and she is actually going to heighten the spell. So Elysia, you have
Holy
disadvantage on the save. It's a dex save for you and Volkar. You have disadvantage, Elysia.
I'm gonna get fucking hit.
She put the disadvantage on Elysia,
Uh,
not me.
No.
Well, that's funny
that's a 4.
for me, not
Okay.
for.
No,
Yeah.
no, save.
Save.
That's a
I
5.
have advantage for my
Still
successful
failure.
save.
Still failure.
And I
But
still rolled shit. Okay, great.
Oh
That
god,
waterboat.
please let us
God.
live.
This is gonna be painful.
let's go down together.
26 points of lightning damage.
Oof.
Both.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
We got some temporary hit points from.
Those get shaved first.
Yeah, we still have them. That's a question.
Yeah.
Unless they've been used up, I guess, because...
I haven't gotten hit since
From
we got
signing
them.
the contract, yeah, you do still have
Yeah.
those.
How many hit
It was 10.
points was? Yeah, but how much did we get hit with?
What did I just say?
26.
26. No, 24.
26.
Sorry.
24.
24?
No, it was 26.
Was it? Oh,
Was
yes,
it?
it was. Hold
I
on,
think
my
it was
math.
26.
Yeah, it was
26.
26. Sorry about that.
Because I was at 30 and now I'm at
Numbers!
4.
Yep. 26 points of lightning damage.
So
Ow,
16
my
after that.
skin.
I need to roll a concentration check.
Yeah, you do. Half the damage.
Yeah. It's gonna be
13.
13.
13.
That's 12.
Oh no! Okay.
Wow. I am.
Mind spike is gone.
Mind Spike is gone. Yep. And she is fucking. She has 5 more feet of movement.
What?
Left. She's booking.
What was that doing?
What
The
was
mind
what?
That
spike?
would let us find her.
Yeah.
I had complete
No.
knowledge of where she was, even if she
Oh,
turned
okay,
invisible.
okay.
As long as she was on this plane, I would know where she was for an hour.
Right.
It's real creepy.
A bit.
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing.
This. Boy, oh boy. Okay, she's booking it. This gentleman here is going to run up to you, Hazel. You get 8 hit points back.
Thank you.
Yep. And he is actually going to then flank her and try to bring her down. And going to cast something onto his weapon. Ouch. Yeah. And fucking rolled a 20. Alright. Okay. I don't know if she's gonna survive this. Okay. Because it's ugly. And yeah, no. Yep, she's still up, but just barely. You see the end of his halberd glow red hot as he brings it down on her head and yells out, "By the power of the Dawnfather, you will not kill these people!"
Ooh.
Yeah.
Alright. That was everything. That was his action and bonus. To do that, and at this point, a figure comes running out of the trees and runs up to Volkar and tries to stab him.
What?
What the
I disagree with this.
Wait,
I am not happy.
He is going to make 2 short sword attacks on you.
Holy shit. But I have only 4 HP.
Oh god.
And
Do you have anything you can use?
rolled a 22 and a natural 20.
God damn, I'm so dead.
Okay, so it's not a lot of damage, but
Yeah, I have 4 HP.
Yeah.
The first one is gonna down me, and the second
first
one
one did 7 points of piercing
Healers.
damage.
Yeah.
And you fail 2 death saves as he
Yeah, I'm down and I failed 2 saves.
digs into your body. I'm not even gonna roll that. So
Already?
you're down.
Oh,
And then,
Jesus.
not seeing a target anywhere else, is going to move over to Elysia to start squaring up for another attack on you.
Damn.
Oh, you were dead, motherfucker.
I was hoping to go kill that biatch caster over there.
Oren,
That's not gonna happen.
what are you doing?
Please save Volkar so I can do
Well,
something else.
I'm way the fuck back here, so
Yeah.
Oren, fix it. We need you.
Oh, Jesus!
I'm
Jesus!
going to move up here.
Dwarf Jesus, don't let me die for your sins.
Oh,
be
Easter. Oh,
Walk it off.
walk-
Walk it
Oh,
up.
just walking.
I can't
It'll
even
be
stand. How
fine.
can I walk it
Just
up?
walk it off. It'll be
walk off
fine.
a fatal stabbing.
He's in range.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because
So
keep in mind that Volkar is second in the turn order.
yeah.
And if he
Um,
fails another one,
that's-
he's
that's-
done.
It
I
says
have a
healing
plan.
word as a bonus action. Can I cast it as just an action
No, it's a
and
bonus.
still have a bonus action?
It's a bonus.
Oh.
Can I do something as an action that says it's a bonus action?
No. No.
Fuck.
Shouldn't-
I'm
Okay.
flexible on some things, but them's the rules, man.
There's this horrible thing called
Them
the
the
action.
rules.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like a bonus action's like just another segment of time that you get.
I don't know. Do you
Yeah.
want to save your dwarf friend
It's,
or not?
It's
No,
a
it's-
bit
I mean,
weird
that's
how
fine.
it works.
Casting
But,
word. But if they get away,
That's how
it's
it
not my
works.
fault.
yeah,
I could've
no,
done
it's not
shit.
your fault. That's
We
fine.
can do this.
Why would we blame you as if you...
nobody's
Save
getting
the
away.
bard.
Hold on, let me see what level.
Save the bard, hammer the nerd, you know, normal dwarf things.
You know, just things. Yeah, okay, so I'll cast Healing Word on Volcar.
Yay. Because I
Get him
don't
back
want to
up.
be that player who changes characters every 2 games.
Dies again, leaves, dies, leaves, dies. Great.
I'm the third cousin of Torkel. Yeah.
It's and then it's Warcar. Yeah, it's a big family.
How many dwarves are there? What are you guys doing down in Craghammer?
And then,
At some point he plays like Mama Dwarf, the paladin that's had like 30 kids.
and then I will
8 points
attack
back. Okay.
I have HP again.
the lady with the leathers and stuff right here.
Okay.
Is she looking bad or
She's
like
looking
how bad?
bad.
Okay, yeah, I'll just go ahead and
Yep.
attack her. The 17 hit.
That is her AC.
Yay.
You might bring her
Get
down.
the skull in. We believe in you.
Takes eight bludgeoning damage.
Okay. She's still up.
Yay.
Yep.
I'm
But
helping,
it's-
guys, I swear.
Yeah, you are. You saved my fucking life.
Oh man.
I feel like this whole battle's gonna shift another 10 feet, and I'm gonna be like, "Fuck! All right, jeez, guys."
Yeah,
More people
we're
come
gonna
out of the-
we're gonna have to
It's
just
like, what?
move all the tokens back on the map.
Just
Yeah, I
release
know.
like a rolling.
Okay, so
And
you
that's-
do have 2 enemies down. And that's
all I can do.
all your turn. Okay. At the top of the round, Volcar. And, well, most
It's
of you
Azel
are
first.
close enough to. No, I just mean most of you are close enough to see. These 2 gnomes are now actually managing. It looks like they're starting to break free of the ropes.
Okay, good.
So they're still on the ground, but the younger man is kind of on his side, and he's like furiously pulling with his teeth and unraveling the ropes around his wrists. And you see the older gentleman is kicking, and he's kicking in a way that's actually like freeing his legs. So they're not free yet, but they're getting there. Okay, we're at this is what, round 3? Yep. Alicia.
What?
And this guy, I need you to make a dex save as this tree starts to, you hear it splinter and start to crash down on top of your heads. It's not a big tree, but you will take some
Jesus.
cold damage.
Oh, please
Now
don't let
even
this
the
kill
trees
Volcar.
are against us. What the
So go
hell?
ahead and make a dex save.
The
I'm gonna
tree
fail.
falls on Volcar and kills him. It's not the ending.
What'd you roll?
Just say 10. Use the thing like a copy verse. Just-
No,
No?
that's a 6.
Okay, yeah, no. I mean, it's
I rolled a 3.
a tree, you can roll out of the way, but he does
Why
make
tree,
his
why?
save. And takes no damage. You're gonna take 6 points of bludgeoning damage and 3 points of fire damage as you get
9 points?
9 points altogether as you get smacked with one of the heavier branches that cracks off of the main tree
Ow.
trunk and lands on you. You are prone, and he has rolled right this way. Didn't roll far, just enough to get out of the way. Let me put a
Oh, thank
tree
God.
in the middle of the path there so you guys know where that's at. Let me just drop
I'm actually-
that on there.
Is it weird I'm happy because now he's out of my range, so I can actually move again?
Yeah. So this, you're not an object, you're a map piece. Quit that. Really? Weirdness? Alright, fine. But there is now a log, a big piece of this tree now kind of scattered across the
Oh,
cobblestones.
damn.
So we should get
Why did this guy have to move next to me?
'Cause
Damn.
it
I'm not happy
It's
with
just
that.
where he rolled.
did. Alright, Hazel, what are you doing?
Okay. Can I run across this tree? Or like, is the tree now difficult terrain or something?
It would be difficult terrain for those 2 squares.
I mean, you can move around too.
Yeah, you could easily move around it. And just, you know.
Yeah, I know I could.
Oh yeah, just
I was like,
Same thing.
like for this plan to work, I was like, I did.
if you pick up your token and press spacebar, you can do waypoint.
Right.
Huh?
Because you can move around with the same amount of movement unless you wanted to like
Yeah.
shift up.
I wanted like
The
to
map.
get within 30 feet of her.
Yeah, like
Oh.
Well, yeah, that's, I mean,
Okay,
30
it's
feet
okay.
is anywhere in this.
Yeah, you can
You can get
do
to
it.
it, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're just pouncing on.
No, look! I'm trying to do several things here. Okay. I have 2 attacks and a bonus. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do, I'm going to like use 1 claw strike against the lady in front of me, but I like want to make it non-lethal because like it might be useful to interrogate her. Like I want to knock her unconscious.
That's all I need to
Punch
know
her
is
in the
non-lethal.
face.
So go ahead and roll with advantage. She is flanked.
Good.
And you'd have advantage anyways because
Yes.
she tried to make a reckless attack, so.
Okay, so that definitely hits. That's like 28.
Yeah.
Well, like 26.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's oh nice, that's 12 points of slashing damage.
She had 2 hit points.
Yes.
So she goes,
Okay.
non-lethally though, she goes unconscious.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just
This whole time I
Punch
was
unconscious.
considering, is it worth the risk to my life to go after her? And yeah, apparently it is.
now
A literal tiger. Oh,
She-
I
Best
want
thing.
to run up to this asshole
Okay.
and basically like while I'm running just like make another swipe at that dude with my second attack.
Okay. Drive-by claw attack.
In
Yep.
passing. Oh, nice. That's also a 23 to hit.
That hits. I mean, that's what cats do anyways, right? They just go like, eh.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
nice. That's 11 points of slashing damage. Okay. And then I want to get within. Okay, then I want to go here. And I want to cast my Blood Curse of Binding on the blonde-haired
You're
lady.
gonna give the other dude an opportunity attack though.
Yeah, that's okay. He can do that.
Yeah, he will. I was just mathing.
yeah.
Yeah, he is gonna try to stab you.
Stabby
And,
stabby.
23 to hit.
Yeah, that is.
Okay. That's 7 points of piercing damage as he just tries to graze you as you go by.
Which is reduced to half, which is 3 points, right?
Right, round down. Yep. Okay. And then what does that do to this woman?
Blood Curse of Binding, she she has to make a strength save throw.
A strength save?
On a
Minus
caster,
2.
yeah, sure.
That's a 3.
Yes.
Nice.
So she is now her movement speed is now reduced to 0, and I
Shit.
want to I wanted to shit, I should have said that before. Sorry, I should have said before that I want to fight. It does not count, but at least for like her next turn, she cannot.
She can't move. Okay.
Yes,
Actually, we'll put the web
She
on her.
still can
There we
cast spell on her faces though.
go. Yep.
she can. Yeah, but she cannot
That is
run.
not cool.
Yeah, sorry. That's all it does. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay.
Volcar,
So-
you're up.
Big question.
Hmm.
How hurt does that sorceress look?
Very.
Very hurt?
Very.
Okay. Finisher! I'm going
Mortal
to
Kombat.
Battaglia because I don't want to be hit by this guy again.
Okay.
So I'm going to Battaglia right next to her,
Oh shit.
which is just
All
within 30. Just to be sure, I'm going to add my Bardic Inspiration to the DC.
Okay.
Just to make freaking
Damn
sure, because
sure,
I don't
yep.
want to eat another freaking damage spell. So, that's gonna be... Oh, 5. So that means that's gonna be DC 20. Strain save.
Okay.
So I don't think she can even succeed.
Jesus.
Well, and she can't freaking move really, so.
Yeah, but it's not about moving or dodging out of the way.
Yeah.
It's about managing to not
No.
fall prone.
She rolled a 7. No.
Yeah. So, like I did at the end, I just raised my fist at bloing,
Okay.
teleport next to her, and then I lift my sass eye above my head.
Advantage on the hit because she's prone.
It's like the end of a punk gig. It's just smashed.
Yeah, pretty much.
No,
Time
fuck
to
you.
go down.
Screaming obscenities.
Okay.
Oh, 25? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, I think you're okay there. You don't have to roll too much damage, but
Yeah, that's gonna be a 10 bludgeoning damage. Count as magical.
she still has hit points.
She still has hit
Just
points.
Barely.
I'm not happy with
Just
this.
Barely. She's got one eye closed now. She's on the ground, and she's reaching out to you to almost like she's trying to ward you off. I mean, she's on last legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna move out of the way in case someone wants to shoot at her. I don't want to give her cover or anything. And I say, surrender.
Okay.
Surrender now. And that's my turn.
The 3 who were next in the order, the Dragonborn, the Crossbow Woman, and the Barbarian, are all dead, except for the Barbarian's unconscious.
I'm all burned and electrocuted.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything,
You get oh. Beard's a little singed. Yeah. All right, Neuraxis, what are you doing?
Straight at that guy.
Okay.
Yeah. One normal attack.
Okay.
25.
Yep,
I'm
that'll hit.
assuming that hits. Yeah. Is this doing what it's supposed to do? Yep, so that's 9 damage on.
Okay. He's going to uncanny dodge that. And use his reaction to take half. Yep.
Of course he is.
Okay. But that's the only time he can use that this round, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Then I'll Great Weapon Master the second.
Oh shit, okay.
Come on. 13 probably
No,
not.
misses. Okay. You
have
see
any bonus action.
Neuraxis get a good hit on this guy, but he manages to he's slippery motherfucker, and just manages to dodge the bulk of the blow. Alright, Elysia, what are you doing? You have a big tree now, kind of blocking you. Yeah.
How tall is the tree?
I mean, you
Well,
can't see over it.
No, that was my question. Can I see
Yeah,
over
no.
it? So I have no idea what happened to the lady, that Wilcar.
You can probably climb on it.
You heard things, and you heard his instrument, but...
Yeah, I'm not gonna try and climb. I'm gonna fucking fall on the ground and lose my remaining hit points.
That's me.
Take concussion damage,
Right.
yeah.
She probably heard me scream at her to surrender, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So that's kind of encouraging, at
There's
least,
so much
maybe.
chaos going on, but you definitely heard that. I mean, Volkar's got
Yeah.
good lungs, so...
Yeah. Being a bard and all.
Just move over here.
Okay.
Can
Now
I then
you
see
the chaos? Yeah.
No, I see the chaos. Do I see the person Rex is up against?
Yeah.
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 Then we're gonna just do a quick little firebolt.
Firebolt. Okay. Is that a dex?
That's me rolling.
Oh, it's re-rolling. Sorry. That's right.
Yeah.
Firebolt, fireball.
No, they are very different.
What did you roll?
17.
That's a hit.
I have to make sure I'm correct one. Yeah. So 2d10 because I am
Okay.
no longer level under 7
Okay.
Yeah, the
points of
cantrips,
fire damage.
Just
Sweet
7.
5th level.
Thin line of fire energy
I
snakes out
rolled
from
bad.
Elysia and just
Yeah.
dodges around Neuraxis and lands on this guy. He's like, you know, trying to put himself out where there's not really fire, but he definitely felt it.
I was gonna say the
And-
cantrips are starting to hurt, but not really.
Out of your and out of your combatants on the field, he's the only one left, and other than this woman over here who's clearly just done. He's hurt, but he doesn't look bad.
Well, he got in very late in the fight, so
Yeah. That type does that. Okay, Elysia, anything else? Oh, sorry.
it's a mistake, really.
Nah, not really. I don't have.
on, come
This
at me.
woman is going to rush over to the gnomes and start freeing them. And does not a issue. Gets them up on their feet, but that's all she can do. And she does turn back to and looks at this guy. Inlon! We need to save the rest. This woman, oh boy, has almost no hit points.
And she can't move.
And she can't move.
She's on the floor. She's having a bad day generally.
She's having a bad day. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
kind of out of
I mean-
a lot of options at this point.
I'm having a bad day. I almost
Yeah.
died.
And I'm having a good day here.
She is.
Are you kidding? This is a great day. Yeah.
Having a great day.
She is gonna hold her hand up at you, Volkar, and say, "Please, mercy, mercy. I'll tell you anything you want to know." But that's all she's gonna do right now.
Okay.
This
Christ,
guy
like it.
that you heard referenced as Inlon is going to. Yeah, just a basic athletics check, not an issue. Is going to jump over this and land on the other side. Big, heavy, plated, armored body to just square off with this guy. Say, I warned you, the Dawnfather does not abide. The dude does not abide. The Dawnfather does not abide hurting civilians.
The Dawnfather is the dude. That's amazing.
Father.
That's what his clerics
I
call.
just realized as I said that what it sounded like.
Dude does not abide.
Top tip?
Oh, God. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that sounds good.
he's gonna no, and he actually can once re-roll that, favor the bold. Yeah, that's much better. Bring his halberd down on this guy and try to end him. Not bad.
Finish him.
Not quite enough, but
We're not good at
we're
finishing
getting there. We're getting there. Okay, he brings the halberd down, and you see it screech and scrape across this guy's leathered back, and but he's flanked, so that is his turn. He is going to look at you, Hazel. Help us finish this. Ulrin, what would you like to do?
Okay.
I'm going to run my tiny little legs
Okay.
and get. And let's go there. And for my action, I will Sacred Flame him the road.
Okay.
Deck save. Shit, he's probably gonna succeed
He's
on
pretty good at deck saves.
Yeah.
But not today.
Nope, I rolled a 5.
it. Yeah.
Wow.
13, no.
So he takes 11 radiant damage.
Okay.
And as a bonus action, I'm gonna move my hammer
Okay.
over here
Yeah.
and smack him with it.
Ouch, okay. Eight-
18 to hit.
That hits.
Woo! So 6 force damage.
He's on last legs.
Ooh.
And that's all I got.
Okay. All right, Hazel.
All right, my dude.
This guy's just been ganged up on. That's what happens when you come into the battle late.
Yeah.
Okay, just. I don't give a fuck about this dude, just tearing to him with my
Okay.
claws.
Jesus.
Alright. First we probably got
Viscera.
12.
Miss.
Damn it. Always when you have a cool one line.
Slightly higher AC than that.
Alright, 17?
That'll hit.
Yeah.
You only need to do 6 points of damage, so.
Yeah, I did 7.
Hey, there we go. He goes down
Finally,
underneath.
Someone who successfully
claws.
finishes an enemy.
I know, right?
Jesus.
I just like wanna tear his throat out.
Jeez.
Nice.
Wow.
I hate it.
The
God.
only people left at this point are the sorcerer and this unconscious barbarian. So Volkar, what would
Good.
you like to do? Or Hazel, I'm sorry. What would you like
No, that's okay. Well, I assume we have no. Wait, I did 2 attacks. No, never mind. I cannot reach her. She's far away from me.
Okay.
So like,
Yeah.
that ends my turn.
to do? All right, Volkar, what would you like to do?
Well, she surrendered, right?
Yeah, she's white flag, hands up, like just absolutely.
Alright. Well, I'm holding my sash over one shoulder with one hand.
Okay.
I lift her up with the other, and
Okay.
I bring her over to the rest of the group.
Okay, she does not fight you.
And I'm like, I got a live one. Still
We also-
bleeding and still singed and burned all over, and I'm like, I got one.
Okay.
We also got a live one over there. We should tie her up.
Okay. As we come out of initiative at this point, with all of the combatants on the field either dead or subdued, there's fire everywhere, and this man surveys the field around you, and he says, "We were too late to save the village, but you helped me save lives today." And that's where we're gonna end.
Yay! We out.
Yay!
We did it! The gnomes are
We did
safe!
Yeah.
Barely! Frickin' barely!
They're an
Oh,
endangered
gnomes.
species.
They were so close to the edge of the map, but we're like,
No, no, no.
I was
God.
so scared that fire breath would just kill them instantly.
I mean, depending on what level he is.
I will tell you, these are
Yeah,
6th,
yeah.
7th, and 8th level characters, so
okay.
Damn.
Wait, that were trying to kill us, or
a little bit of both. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh man, you guys. Whew.
I mean,
all
6,
right.
7, 8,
And
it's fair. It's fair.
Thus ends another wonderful, crazy session, you guys.
Ah,
Yeah.
that was so good!
Ah, all the battles.
I'm actually impressed by all the damage I've taken, considering I'm a bard.
Yeah, you did really well.
yeah.
Like, holy shit. I'm the tankiest bard who's ever lived.
Ah.